Hello everybody, it's Cameron McCrory and I'm here with the Dozier family and I'm here to ask... Hello everybody, it's Cameron McCrory and I'm here with head coach Brian Evans. Hello everybody, it's Cameron McCrory and I'm here with head coach Brian Evans ahead of today's 7 p.m. matchup against the San
And we welcome everyone to Great Park. Andrew Giesler alongside Aidan. Pham, we got a great game today. The OC Riptide and the San Diego Bombers. We had another matchup between these two teams. Riptide obviously have taken 3 out of the 4, and well, they're coming off a huge game against the Foresters. Both of us were at the call in Santa Barbara. Aidan, what did you see from that game?
Yeah, and I think you described it perfectly. It was a big road win for the Foresters. The pitching staff stood out to me. They only used 2 pitchers, limited the Foresters to 4 hits, and something I thought they did well was they jumped ahead early. It was 4-0 after the first inning. I think the Riptide need to do that again in a team that has kind of given them problems in the Bombers this summer.
Yeah, and something that I saw that I just need to point out is the fact that they scored 6 of their 7 runs with 2 outs, which is insane. It's the 2-out hitting yesterday that really did it for the Riptide, and it's helped a lot this season, as well as 2-strike hitting. And that's what has gone well so far, but they'll be on defense first, of course, since we're at a home game here at Great Park. Dylan Nieto on the mound for the Riptide to start things off. A 2.7 ERA and a 0.75 whip. But it's his first start so far this season. In 8 appearances, he'll be working against a Bomber squad that's composed of 2 lefties, a switch hitters, and 6 righties. So first will be Thomas Williams. He'll be at shortstop. That's your switch hitter. Then Ethan Swidler, he'll be doing the catching. Lucas Bonham at second. He's in the 3-hole. Cleanup hitter Jeremy Jones. He is the third of 3 righties in a row, batting fourth. Mikey Roca and Alan Chu, those are your 2 lefties at 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9 goes Dylan Fishbow, Gianluca Finelli, and Aidan Harrison, all 3 righties. So it'll start off with Nieto on the mound. Around him will be McDonald at first, Johnson at second, Lambden at short, Sauce at third. Left to right in the outfield, Salmon, Montgomery, and Navarro. So right-hander Dylan Nieto will go against Thomas Williams. Coming out of the windup, first pitch of the day. He is low in the zone for strike number 1 to the switch hitter Thomas Williams, who's right on that chalk line in the back of his lefty box. 0-1. Inside, kind of tries to back Williams off a little bit there. So a 1-1 count.
Dylan Nieto has been great for the Riptide this summer, making his first start. And we expect to see a lot of arms out of the bullpen, but the Riptide would obviously love for a couple innings from Dylan Nieto.
I'll wind up 1-1. Miss is just outside on the off-speed, so 2-1 count toward Williams, who against the Riptide so far in the meetings is 5 for 13 with 3 walks and 2 runs scored as well. That's why he's the leadoff hitter, batting .302 this year in general. 2-1. Smacked out toward right center field. Moving over is Montgomery. Speedy lefty makes the catch with ease for out number 1 in this top of the first.
Good job by Montgomery out there in center to just race over and make the catch for out number 1. And Ethan Swidler had a decent game against the Riptide. It's his second start, and both of them have been against Orange County.
Coming from the Cape, recently out Cape Cod League. Now he's here in the CCL, the California Collegiate League. Swings over the top of strike number 1 from Nieto. He was 1 for 4 on the year in both general and against the Riptide. 0-1 in there on the inside part of the plate with the fastball. 0-2 count now for Nieto. So only time Swidler's played is against these Riptide. 0-2. Curveball goes off the knee of Crandall back there. He's doing the catching today, the Anteater. It's him as well as Jimmy Zakar and Henry McDonald. Those are the guys who normally kind of rotate around. You might recognize McDonald. Well, he's standing over there at first base. Said it's been a bit since he's played first, but not that long, since the fall of this past year. 1-2. High and tight to Swidler. He backs out of the way. It'll be a 2-2 count now, and Swidler's been able to even things up. Speaking of catchers, Swidler will be behind the plate later on for when Owen Peak steps out onto the mound. Rocks delivers 2-2. Looked good on the inside corner, but our home plate umpire, Bradley Murda, thought differently, so it'll be a full count now with 1 out and nobody on. Score is still at 0-0 here early in the first inning. Takes no time, payoff pitch. Rolled over on the third base side. Nieto's going to make a tough play, slip, go down, and rock off his knee and stay fair. So it'll be, I think, a single, I would say. Definitely not an error. Tough play either way.
Tough for Nieto. He was over there in a hurry and, yeah, just slid on the grass. And by the time he had the ball, there was no play.
So now it would be the 3-hitter and Lucas Bonham stepping in. Another righty, the first of 3 in a row. First pitch to him, hit hard out to third, goes off the glove of Sauce. He tries to barehand it the next time. That's certainly going to be an error, whether the first one was in question or not. Now it's Bonham on first. Swidler gets to second, and a no-throw from Sauce, who just hands it back to Nieto, who's working with 2 ducks on the pond now.
And just like that, the Bombers are threatening with 2 runners on. That one, Camden Sauce has been pretty well defensively this summer and just bobbled it that time.
So Jeremy Jones looks to be coming up next in the lefty box. Lefty watches change up on the outside part of the plate for ball number 1. It'll be a 1-0 count with 1 out and a man on first and second. Still no score here in top of 1. Nieto coming out of the stretch now. He'll be on the third base side of the rubber. Jones standing up tall. 1-0. Big swing and a miss on the breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 count now.
Jones had the Riptide's number the last time they faced off on Tuesday. He was 3 for 4 with a run scored.
Nieto 1-1. Change up low, misses. It'll be a 2-1 count. So official scoring says that Swidler's on second due to his single, though. Bonham is on first. That one we knew was an error. 2-1. Check swing didn't go. He did go around, it seems, on another one of those curveballs on the inside part of the plate. So 2-2 count now toward the beer batter. And fans here are hoping to get a little bit off beer here on a Thursday night. But, hey, it's before 4th of July. Well, man on first and second, 2-2. Just misses outside. Certainly thought that one was close. Tight strike zone so far today. It'll be a full count. Second one that Nieto's seen today. Holcomb set. He's a reliever. He's been in this situation many times before with 2 on. One out. Would love to turn 2 and get the bats going here for the Riptide. Payoff pitch. Hit hard out to short. It goes under the glove of Lambden and rolls into center field. Hustling around to home is going to be Swidler. No throw to him. Montgomery comes, picks the ball up, and just lightly tosses it to Lambden. So Jeremy Jones brings one across in Swidler and the Bombers now leading 1-0 in this top of the first inning.
Gets by the glove of Lambden, then the Bombers take the early lead.
I think certainly a playable ball from Lambden over there at short. Kind of just went right under his glove and rolled into center field. The way Roca up to the plate now, takes a big swing and a miss at that one, and it'll be an 0-1 count.
Talk about how Dylan Nato has been in this position before as a reliever. The last time he started the game, you got to go all the way back to 7th grade for him.
That's a long time. One out, man on first and second. Nato's interested in Bonham at second base, but finally fires and makes it a 1-1 count. So Jones on first after his RBI single. Bonham on second. Down at the plate is Roca, who watches the 1-1 high at his eye level. Makes it a 2-1 count with one out. And the score 1-0 Bombers favor on the top of one. Two-1 from Nato. Inside misses 3-1 count. There's a whole lot of pitchers that are on the hot list today for the Riptide, so I wouldn't say it's a really long time before we see someone get ready. I didn't think that, especially after yesterday with Earth Bomber and 3-1. High misses, so a walk. As I was saying to finish my thought, as we have bases loaded with one outs, I wouldn't expect it to be Nato going a whole lot of time with Earth Bomber and Telford taking up all 9 innings yesterday. And just as I'm saying that, Brian Evans will walk out and try to slow things down.
That's a good job going back to Mikey Roca with the walk. He was 0 for 8 against the Riptide this summer before then, so that's got to feel good. The bases are loaded for Alan Chu, but before that, Evans for a mound visit.
Got an 0.67 on the year was Mikey Roca, but still had 3 RBIs.
And he recorded that was his first hit yesterday against the Oaks. The first hit of the summer, a double. Cashed in a couple runs.
We've seen crazier things from people. I mean, you look at the Foresters lineup. Easton Rulli bat 163 with 14 RBIs. So 0.67 with 3 isn't all that crazy. But at the plate now is Alan Chu. Lefty with the bases loaded, 1 out. Riptide need to turn 2 here. First pitch, low in the zone. Crandall has to knock it down and stares at the runner on third and Lucas Bonham.
Chu had a rough day back on Tuesday. He was 0 for 4 and struck out twice, but a really good opportunity here for him with the bases loaded and just 1 out.
1-0. Hit over toward left field, will drop in front of Sam, and he'll throw in toward Lambden, but easily coming across to score is Bonham. So now it's the Bombers that are up 2-0. And Jeremy Jones on third, Mikey Roca now on second, and Alan Chu on first after his RBI single.
Just not the start you would have liked from Dylan Nato. He's had to work with the error over there at third base. The bases are still loaded and just 1 out still.
Dylan Fishbow now at the plate. Righty-righty matchup. And the first pitch makes Fishbow look a little silly on the outside corner, a 1 count.
And that's been the big issue with Fishbow this summer for the Bombers. He bat really well at Stevens this past spring, but he leads this Bombers team in strikeouts.
0-1. Big swing and a miss on an identical pitch from Nato, so an 0-2 count now. Looks like Sean Cannon warming up for the Riptide. 1 out, base is juiced. Fishbow at the plate, looking to plate across a few more. 0-2. Rings them up. 3 identical pitches from Dylan Nato. Gets out number 2 and a big one for the Riptide.
Definitely a big one. 2 outs, just 1 left to get. And leave the bases loaded for the Bombers.
So now it'll be Gianluca Finelli stepping up to the plate. 5 RBIs this year, but has 3 ducks on the pond to make it a few more. 2 outs, bases juiced. 2-0 Bombers lead, top of 1. Nato's first pitch. That same curveball in the exact same spot, low and outside. This time, Finelli has learned from what he saw in 3 pitches from Fishbow. So a 1-0 count. Coming out of the stretch, third base, side of the rubber. 1-0. Heater on the outside. First fastball we've seen in a while. It's in there for a strike. 1-1 count. It's the woes of the Riptide in this first inning, where it's been a while since they've allowed runs in the top, but previously they did it a lot in a row. 1-1. Curveball hit hard, just past diving Lambden at short. Coming around to score easily is Jones. Roca's thinking about going. He's caught in the middle. Sauce throws home to Crandall and gets him out, but not before a run did cross. So Roca ran through a stop sign, it looked like, and was caught in the middle. So it will be 3-0 heading it to the bottom of the first after Finelli's RBI. And a quick look at the Riptide lineup. It'll be Lambden, Hunsaker, and Navarro, your first 3 when we come back. We will send things to Cameron McCurry for her interview with head coach Brian Evans previously.
Hello, everybody. It's Cameron McCurry, and I'm here with head coach Brian Evans ahead of today's 7 p.m. matchup against the San Diego Bombers. So, Coach, you guys are 2-1 against the Bombers at this point in the season, and in both of those wins, you guys jumped out early by scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the first. How important do you think it is tonight to set the tone early, and what are you hoping to see here in the first few innings from the guys?
I would love to get on a hot start tonight. I think recently we've kind of been a late inning team, but I would love to jump on these guys early tonight.
Yeah, so I know there's a few players that have been firing on all cylinders by themselves as of late. One in particular I want to talk about is Luke Johnson. Last week he was 8 for 19 with 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. What sort of piece are you hoping he'll play in the game tonight?
Hoping a big piece. I mean, he played first last year. We know he can hit. Kind of got off to a little slow start, but he seems to be picking it up right now, and hopefully he can ride him out as long as possible.
Awesome. Sounds good, Coach. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
And we welcome you in bottom half of the first. The Bombers are already leading 3-0, but the Riptide are coming off a game where they scored 7 runs against the top team in the league in the Foresters. So they'll look to get things going against a team who, well, isn't necessarily at the top in the South. Right now, they are second to last, in fact. The only team behind them is the Philippines. They're in 7th. So it'll be Jake Lambden, the new addition to this Riptide squad, starting things off. The righty, and then it'll be Hunsaker behind Tim, Navarro, Crandall, Johnson, Montgomery, McDonald, Simon, and Sauce. We'll go through that a little bit slower in a second. But first pitch high and tight to Lambden, so he'll back away and take a time out of his righty box. 1-0 count. So it'll be Jake Lambden to start, with Riley Hunsaker, the DH, behind him. He's a lefty, and then the switch hitter, Navarro, batting third today. 1-0 to Lambden. Change up outside, part of the plate, 1-1 count. After him, the middle will be Zach Crandall, Luke Johnson, Reed Montgomery. Bottom 3, Henry McDonald, Jack Salmon, and Camden Sauce. 3 lefties, a switch hitter, and 5 righties, as the 1-1 is in there for strike number 2.
Owen Peak, this is his second appearance against the Riptide. In the last one, 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts.
1-2. Curveball that bounces just before the plate. Good block down from Swidler behind the dish. Makes it 2-2 count. And Peak so far this year, 3.6 ERA with 9 strikeouts and 5 innings pitched. This is his second start in 5 appearances. 2-2's golfed out towards short. Moving over is Williams. He'll make a throw over to first, but not in time. Lambden hustling out of the righty box. Beats it out for an infield single.
It's a tough play for Williams. A little slow roller, and Lambden shows off the speed and is safe at first.
So it'll be Riley Hunsaker with no batting gloves. The DH today stepping in. Lefty batting 166 up to this point, but is in a 2-game hit streak. Got out of a slump with a double, and then last game had a single and walked as well. Came around to score. 3-0, bottom of 1. First pitch to Hunsaker is at eye level for ball number 1. So a different lineup with Navarro batting third. Normally he's the leadoff guy. Yesterday bats second, though, with Johnny Rodriguez there. As Peak throws over to first, checking on Lambden. He doesn't even have to dive. As I said, Johnny Rodriguez batting first yesterday. He gets the day off. He's normally playing first. But in his spot is Henry McDonald, who normally catches. No outs, man on first in Lambden. 1 out. Fouled back and to our left. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Owen Peak gets his start and looking for a better outing than the last one against the Foresters, where he just went 1 inning and gave up 2 earned runs and 3 hits.
Forster seems really good, though. Peak gets ready, takes a little bit of time, but 1-1 is high and outside. As I was saying, the Riptide yesterday needed a lot to beat the Foresters. In fact, they needed 7 walks from the Santa Barbara team, which certainly helped them a lot. 2-1, big swing and miss from Hunsaker, who was already looking out toward right field to see how far he sent that one, but it's already in the glove of Swidler. 2-2, no outs, man on first, and Jake Lambden after his infield single just previously ago. Peak says no to the first one, smiles and says yes to Swidler on the second. 2-2, high at eye level again, so it'll be a full count with no outs.
A big story in the last 2 meetings between these two teams are the Bombers pitching being able to limit the offense for the Riptide. Just 5 hits last time, before that 3.
Hunsaker getting ready. Full count pitch. Curveball got him looking. Hunsaker knew it immediately. Perfectly placed on the outside corner. And a backwards K for the first out in this bottom of the first inning.
Nice pitch from Owen Peak to get his 10th strikeout. And here comes Bradley Navarro.
He'll be coming into the righty box. Has a little bit more power in that side, but certainly has power everywhere. Batting .416 with a .520 on base percentage and .600 slugging. That's in 75 plate appearances this year. First pitch to him. He swings hard over the top of it for strike number 1.
And it kind of feels silly to say, but Bradley Navarro's batting third. It's not that he hasn't been great at all. The Riptide just are hoping to get him up with a couple guys on, and they do that with Lambden on first.
0-1. Fouled back against the screen. Navarro's now down in 0-2 count, and I talked with Coach Evans before the game. He bat second yesterday, as I said, and I said, what happened? He hit 3 for 4 yesterday. Were you hoping for 4 for 4? And he said, oh, no, we were hoping when we get base runners on to have a guy like him get up and try to move him around the base pass instead of sometimes getting stranded out there. 1 out, man on first. Here's the 0-2. Lambden's on the run. Hit high in the sky, out towards second base. Out towards center field, in fact, as it kept sailing. Lambden has to hit the brakes and go back to first. An easy catch from Fishbow out there for out number 2.
Definitely a high one from Navarro, and a nice job in center by Fishbow to make the grab.
So it'll be Zach Crandall, the cleanup hitter, now coming up.
This is a quick timeout as some trouble getting the bat. And there we go. We're set.
So Owen Peak now has 2 outs. Lambden's on first after Navarro skies 1 out towards center field to Fishbow. Lambden had to hit the brakes and run back to first after that fly ball. He was stealing. Crandall up to bat, 0 for 3 in his last appearance. Lambden on the run. Swidler will throw. It's good, but the tag is just off. So after the ball from Peak to make it a 1-0 count, Lambden pretty easily steals second.
And that's his first stolen base as a Riptide this summer, too.
Crandall now is a man in scoring position. 0-1. High. It misses, so 1-1. So they did call that initial one a strike. It didn't look like there's any motion of that from Bradley Murda behind the plate. 2 outs, man on second. 3-0 in the bottom of the first. 1-1. It's another curveball that misses high. So 2-1 count now. Previously, Sean Cannon was thrown around for the Riptide, but it doesn't look like he'll be coming back out, or he will come out as he is sat down to this point. 2-1. Fouled back into the right. It'll be a 2-2 count with 2 outs and a man on second.
Zach Crandall has been really good for the Riptide. One of multiple catches for them, batting .269 on an 8-game on-base streak.
Flag is flown out toward left center field. And Speak brings the 2-2, which misses high. Another beautiful day here in Orange County. Sun beginning to set to our left. Another 7 o'clock start here. 2 outs, man on second. And the payoff pitch to Crandall is a curveball, check swing right down the pipe. It's strike 3. So the second strikeout of the inning for Owen Peak. Strands the runner out at second on 1 hit and no errors. So we'll head to the top of 2 when we get back. And we welcome you back in here to the top of the second inning. Gone to Cityside Fiber. It's your turn to get connected with Cityside Fiber, OC Riptide's favorite gig speed fiber internet provider. Whether you're streaming gaming or working from home, Cityside Fiber knocks it out of the park. Step up to the plate and get connected today at citysidefiber.com. It's a new pitcher for the Riptide, and it's not Sean Cannon. Instead, it's going to be Nick Bunn, and he'll face Aidan Harrison, the 9-batter, before Thomas Williams and Ethan Swidler come up to the plate. Paul coming out of the windup for the first pitch, which misses high in this top of the second inning. Bombers leading 3-0 after they plated 3 in the first, thanks to an error on the left side of the infield. 1-0. Rolled over towards Sauce. He tries to backhand. It gets past him and a roll all the way to the corner. Moving to second is going to be Harrison. Finally picking it up in left field is Salmon. He'll throw into the cutoff man near third in Lambden, but standing at second is Harrison for a leadoff double.
Snuck that one by the glove of Sauce at third base, and it goes all the way in the corner. So once again, another big start for the Bombers.
So now the switch hitter, Williams, coming up. The lefty who flew out to center in his first at-bat. Always dangerous. Up to the plate now with a runner in scoring position at second and Aidan Harrison after his leadoff double. Delivery. Misses outside, 1-0 count. And after getting pulled after only 1 inning, Nieto went 1 inning pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs. Only 1 of which was earned, though. And then a walk and a strikeout. Bond looks back towards second, 1-0. Hammered toward right field, lands just fair. Coming around to score easily is going to be Harrison. Picking up in right field is Navarro as a helmet flies off of Williams as he cruises into second base and claps toward his dugout. He makes the score 4-0 in the top of 2.
That one just barely dropped foul, maybe a foot in the right field line, and Harrison scores, and the Bombers extend their lead.
He's barely on the left side of the first base line. So it'll be no outs, and instead of Harrison on second, Williams replaces him, with it now being 4-0. Swidler now up to the plate. The catcher already has a single and a run today. First pitch to him, rolled over to second to Lambden. High hop, he has to jump to get it. Throws on to first to McDonald for the first out of the inning. So at least the Riptide have one out now, but not before their damage has at least already been a little bit done, thanks to Williams' no-out double, which brought across Harrison. Coming up to the plate now, Lucas Bonham. Williams still out there on second. Bonham, who reached via an error in the first, hammers this one out toward short. Diving is Lambden. What a play on the release. Ball pops out. Moving from third now all the way to home is Williams, and he'll come across to score. And a great play by Lambden initially to lay out, get that ball in his glove, and the ball just rolled to center field in the transition. So, looks like possibly another error now for the Riptide. Definitely tough. No certainty that he's even making that play at first. The only certainty I know is that that run wouldn't have come across to score. So 5-0 in the top of 2. Bond brings the first one to Jones, which is in there for strike number 1 with 1 out and a man on first in Lucas Bonham.
Going back to that, it looks like they changed it to a hit on the board. I think that's the right decision. Definitely a tough play, a good effort by Lambden. Just popped out of his hand like you said, Andrew.
Our data people agree, and it was a hit. So 5-0 with Bonham on first after his hit. An 0-2 count. Swung on and missed for the beer batter, Jeremy Jones, and huge round of applause from the fans here at Great Park today, who get a little bit of discounted beer. But more importantly, 2 outs for the Riptide, with Mikey Roca coming up to the plate. But they're down 5-0 in the top of the second.
Way to get the second strikeout of the day for the Riptide.
First one in there for strike number 1.
And Bond is coming off that appearance against the Oaks. That was on Saturday, where they were walked off on a wild pitch.
On sets, close stance on the first base side of the rubber. 0-1. Finds the bottom part of the zone for strike number 2. It's an 0-2 count now. So after a somewhat shaky start, Bond's now started attacking hitters directly. Looking for his second strikeout in the road. 0-2. Gets him on the outside corner. Strike number 3, and after letting up 2 runs, Bond strikes back and gets 2 strikeouts of his own in a row. So it'll be 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Coming up now for the Riptide in the bottom of the second, it'll be Luke Johnson, Reed Montgomery, and Henry McDonald. Righty, lefty, righty for the Riptide against the Bombers pitcher Owen Peak in this 5-0 game. The Bombers bring 2 more across in their half earlier in the second. Peak out of the wind-up first pitch to Johnson. Spikes it in the lefty box.
Riptide have found themselves down early, looking for a spark, starting with Luke Johnson.
Already 2 errors early in this game. This Peak brings the 1-0. Curveball, which misses on the inside, so it'll be a 2-0 count now. And I bring up those errors only because it felt like the Riptide had fixed that problem, but clearly not. 2-0. Inside part of the zone. It's a 2-1 count now with no outs and nobody on. 5-0 early in this game, bottom of the second. Johnson batted .298 and has raised it quite a bit so far this season. As 2-1 misses low, it's a 3-1 now.
Before that Bombers game on Tuesday, Johnson was red hot with the bat. He struck out 3 times against San Diego.
3-1 from Peak. Big swing and a miss makes it a full count now. So Peak has battled pretty well out there on the mound so far. Already has 2 strikeouts, one of them facing the wrong direction. That was to the 2-batter Riley Hunsaker. 3-2. Hit hard out toward third base, but well foul. Slams off the Riptide bullpen and it'll go all the way out toward left field. So we'll see a full count one more time as someone's having to run a whole long way to get that baseball with not a lot of help from the left fielder in Finelli.
Wow, that's a far run. Definitely could have helped him out there.
I think very much could have. But now we wait, and finally Peak will get on the rubber. 3-2 to Johnson. And he spikes it for a walk. So the second base runner the Riptide will have today. And the second time as well that they will have a leadoff batter on.
And with Reed Montgomery coming up, the power he has, you're really hoping for him to advance the base runners and help the Riptide cut into the 5-0 deficit.
Coming into this game, Montgomery has a 12-game on-base streak. Twice in his appearance yesterday against the Foresters, one via a hit and another one on a fielder's choice. So, in a 5-0 ball game, obviously a guy that you'd love to have on the plate. Peak looks over at first, but brings the first pitch to Montgomery, which he hacks straight over the top of. So an 0-1 count to start things off with no outs. Lefty Montgomery is one of 3 true lefties in this lineup. Navarro is the guy who can hit lefty, and he's a switch hitter. 0-1. Misses outside, so it'll be a 1-1 count now with Johnson on first after his walk. Guy that gets on base pretty well, but mainly due to being hit. He has 7 hit-by pitches so far this year. Only his 3rd walk. 1-1. Huge swing and a miss from Montgomery. Makes it a 1-2 count.
Big swing from Reed as he went down on one knee in the batter's box.
Peak shakes the first one. And now the 1-2. Fouled back into the left. Makes it, or keeps it at a 1-2 count. Johnson has a little bit of speed. By a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Has stolen 8 bases so far this year and has yet to be caught so far. Lambden's already stole a base today. He's on the Riptide team. Haven't seen the Bombers try to do it yet. 1-2. Curveball. Ooh, Montgomery wanted to pull the trigger, but he didn't, and it was the right decision. So it's in the dirt. 2-2 count now. Peak looks over at first toward Johnson. Now lifts 2-2. Johnson's on his way. Called strike 3. He slides into second. He's safe, but not before Montgomery strikes out looking. So it'll be 1 out now in this bottom of the second inning. 5-0. The Bombers are leading with Johnson on second after his 9th stolen base of the year.
Strikeout number 3 for Owen Peak. They do get the runner in scoring position after Johnson swiped the bag, and up comes McDonald.
Donald so far this year has gotten 1 hit. It's a double. First pitch to him is well inside. Misses 1-0 count with 1 out and Johnson on second. 5-0 here. Bombers are leading in the bottom of 2.
He did start against the Bombers the other day, but was hit by a pitch.
And had to be relieved by Jimmy Zakar. But first time coming back since that. 1-0. Inside yet again. It's a 2-0 count. So Peak's working everything inside so far on McDonald. Peak sets 3 strikeouts so far today. 2 of them looking backwards. Has a long way to go here. 2-0, Johnson's on his run. Swidler will throw into left field. It gets past the third baseman and Roca. So that means that Johnson will come all the way across to score. Gets credit for the steal, and the error brings him around for home.
Nice base running by Luke Johnson. Sees the ball fly by, and he takes off and scores. The Riptide is trailing by 4 runs now.
Doesn't matter how you get across, just as long as you do. So it's 5-1 now. The Riptide are leading. With a 3-0 count as that pitch was called the ball toward Henry McDonald. Out of the windup now, Peak brings a 3-0, which is low, so it'll be a 4-pitch walk to Henry McDonald, who's now on first. The second walk of the day now from Peak, and the second one in this inning as well.
Up comes Jack Salmon. He's in a little bit of a slump right now. Would love to turn that around.
Swidler goes out, talked to Peak, trying to just settle him down. Had a great first inning, other than Lambden, who golfed a single up the middle, or kept it an infield single, I should say, as Williams wasn't able to get the throw to Chu in time. And then after that, sat down the next 3 straight in Hunsaker, Navarro, and Crandall. Navarro obviously a tough out. Then Hunsaker and Crandall, he got to the strikeout. And walked a guy in Johnson. He obviously just came around to score. Struck out Montgomery. McDonald just walked in. Well, we're all caught up. It'll be the 8 batter and Jack Salmon stepping up to the plate now. Lefty v lefty matchup. Salmon v Peak. One out, man on first and Johnson. 5-1 now. First pitch to Salmon is skied out toward left field. Shallow, and it's slicing foul, but running out is the third baseman, Roca, who makes the catch well in foul territory, just next to the bullpen for the Riptide, and catches it for out number 2. Salmon goes down in 1 pitch.
Just after you walk 2 batters, you get 2 outs, and with Camden Sauce, just 1 away from getting out of the inning.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that all that much from Salmon. A first pitch swinging after the 4-pitch walk from McDonald, but either way, it's 2 outs. Sauce up to the plate now, watches it miss on the inside. So 1-0 count. Another guy who is in somewhat of a slump. Last time he played the Bombers, or his last game, which was against the Bombers, he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, the dreaded hat trick. 2 outs being on first, 1-0. Sent right back toward us, straight over our heads. It'll be a 1-1 count.
He does have an issue with these strikeouts, but one thing he does do well is finding a way to get on, especially via the walk.
11 walks this season, a .313 on base percentage compared to the .181 average. Both would love to be higher, but a .313 on base percentage isn't that terrible. 1-1. Low in the dirt. It's a 2-1 count with 2 outs. And this, it felt like, was the time that the Riptide were ready to strike with 2 outs. Hasn't been the case necessarily today, but on a low sample size. Donald at first. 2-1. Hit out toward right field. Initially moving back is Jones, now moving in toward the sun and catching for out number 3 in middle right field. For the 3rd out of the bottom of the 2nd inning. Riptide bring across 1 on no hits and an error. So it will be 5-1 as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. We head to top of 3. It'll be middle bottom part of the lineup. Alan Chu, Dylan Fishbow, and Gianluca Finelli. Those 3 so far are 2 for 3 on the day. Chu and Finelli both have singles and RBIs to their names. Fishbow, well, a strikeout. Not ideal. They'll be working against Bond, who comes out of the windup. First pitch, like a cricket thrower, misses home plate by about a foot. So 1-0 count. With the Bombers leading 5-1. Riptide did bring across 1 thanks to Johnson running like a maniac around the base paths. 1-0 was flared out towards short. Lambden calls everyone off. Not like anyone was near him, though, but gets out number 1.
McBaugh out there for another inning of work. Gets the quick out of Alan Chu. So far, a nice job from the Bombers. 6 hits through 2 innings.
Riptide only have 1. That was to Lambden, the first batter of the game. They've gone through 9. First pitch to Fishbow is low and outside. 1-0 count. Fishbow against the Riptide this year. 2 for 15 with 2 walks, a run, and a stolen base as well. 1-0. Big swing and a miss, or a foul tip into the glove of Crandall. So 1-1 count now with 1 out. Riptide need to find bats going quickly because they're already down by 4. It's 5-1 in the top of 3. 1-1 misses outside. 2-1 count on the slider from Bond. Wouldn't be surprised if we get movement in the Riptide bullpen soon. Not because Bond's not doing a good job. He's retired his past 3. But just because it's a bullpen day for them. 2-1's right down Broadway. So 2-2 count now. Bond will adjust the hat. Middle infield playing back on the outfield grass. Sauce at third's about 3 or 4 yards off the cut. 2-2. Got him looking on the outside corner. 3rd strikeout of the day for Bond, and the 4th one for the Riptide pitchers today. And Fishbow has been sat down twice via a strikeout. 2nd out of the inning for the Riptide now, as Gianluca Finelli will hop in.
Riptide looking for their first 1-2-3 inning after 5 runs came across in the first 2.
First pitch to Finelli's in there on the inside corner. And they averaged 7 batters faced between the first and the second, or in each of them, I should say. 0-1. Big swing and a miss on the outside. Bond's found his stuff at this point now, with 2 outs and nobody on. Bond shakes again. Still deciding and nods yes toward Crandall. 0-2. Elevated out toward first. Moving over is McDonald. He'll quickly run into a fence, and it'll knock off the top of it. So we'll do an 0-2 one more time. And the first baseman in McDonald, who's normally wearing the catcher gear, is realizing, hey, it's a whole lot easier to maybe get over to a foul ball if I don't have to chuck off the mask and have all this extra weight on me.
Gave it good pursuit and just ran into the wall as he ran out of real estate.
So we'll see an 0-2 count one more time with 2 outs, nobody on. 5-1 in the top of 3. Bond brings it. And it's swung on and missed from Finelli. So Bond has sat down 5 straight now, 4 of which to the strikeout, 2 facing each direction, and more importantly, the first 1-2-3 inning for the Riptide. No hits, no errors, and nobody left on base, as well as no runs in that inning. We'll head to the home half of the 3rd, but not before we hear a quick word from our sponsor. Experian is your BFF, big financial friend. Big enough to have the resources and knowledge that have an impact. Personal enough to help with what's best for only you. No matter where you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is a trustworthy companion by your side. Wherever you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is ready to help you navigate the smartest way to reach all your personal financial goals with solutions you can trust. This is Experian, your big financial friend for life. For more information, go to Experian.com. Riptide Bats coming up. And we're already back for the home half of the third. Andrew Giesler alongside Aidan, Pham, Owen Peak on the mound, and he'll be looking toward the top of the lineup. Jake Lambden, Riley Hunsaker, and Bradley Navarro. A little bit of everything. A righty, a lefty, and then a switch hitter for the Riptide, but gotta assume Navarro will be in the righty box against the lefty Peak.
Definitely the strong point in the Riptide lineup with Lambden, who's looked good so far, and you got Navarro due up this inning as well.
Lambden, the only guy with a hit today. Watch the first one miss for ball number 1. And comparatively, the Bombers have 6 hits in this game. Peak nods at one he likes, comes out of the windup 1-0. Hit over the head of Williams at short, and it'll drop in for the second hit for the Riptide of the day. And then the second hit for Lambden for the day, who takes a huge turnaround first and will retreat back. Riptide, for the third time in as many innings, have a leadoff hitter.
Jake Lambden, in his third game as a Riptide, continues to look impressive. His second hit of the day.
In 11 plate appearances, he has 3 RBIs already. And has 4 hits as well. Lefty Hunsaker's in the box. As Peak will look over and throw to Lambden. Or instead to Chu, as Lambden just runs back to the bag. He'll take a lead close to the cut of the grass. He already has a steal today. 1-2 for the Riptide. Peak will look and throw back toward Chu again. Lambden stands on the first base pillow as Chu gives him a light little tag. At some point, Peak's going to look toward the lefty Hunsaker, sets at the belt, and brings the first pitch. Lambden's on his way. Slide is in time, and the tag is not. So Lambden stole his second base of the day. So that was called a strike on the outside part of the corner toward Riley Hunsaker.
And once again, he's in scoring position for Hunsaker, who struck out back in the first.
So Lambden, an identical look to what he did in the first. A single and then a stolen base. Hunsaker 0-1. Curveball misses on the outside. 1-1 count now with the outs, and Lambden in scoring position, only a left turn away. Riptide have left 2 on base so far in the 2 innings played. We're in the bottom of 3 right now. 5-1 Bombers lead. Lambden shuffling all the way around. Peak brings it home. Chopped out towards short. On the run, Williams thinks about throwing to third, instead goes to first to Chu and gets the out smartly as Lambden was on the run over there to third base. Who's now in a squat with Grant Mayu talking with him, and he'll call time. Lambden looks to maybe be in a little bit of pain. She's standing on third now, obviously not what anybody would like to see. Navarro is the guy who's at the plate right now. So Coach Brian Evans will walk out and talk to him as well. Looks like he'll stay in this game as Evans will walk back to the dugout.
For Navarro stepping up, this is exactly the position you want him in with the runner 90 feet from home, an opportunity to get another run across.
Righty Navarro this year, 8 RBIs. Leads basically every single offensive category except that one, which has Reed Montgomery's name next to it. First pitch to Navarro in there on the outside. For strike number 1, 1 out, and a man on third in Jake Lambden. The only person who's gotten a hit for the Riptide squad today, but you got to assume Navarro with a 12-game hit streak will be on that board at some point. 0-1 from Peak. Navarro liked the curveball, didn't swing all the way around though, but still in the bottom part of the zone. 0-2. Navarro's been down 0-2 now for the second time today. His first at-bat flew out towards center field in Fishbowl. 0-2. Misses inside. It'll be a 1-2 count toward Navarro. Yesterday was 3 for 4 with 3 singles, a stolen base, had a run. That was 1 of 7 for the Riptide, and a walk as well. 16-game on-base streak, 12-game hitting streak. He's been the man for the Riptide. 1-2. Rolled over the top, ducking underneath it is Crandall in the on-deck circle. So it'll be a 1-2 count once more. Bonham, the second baseman, shifted a little bit toward his right, toward the second base bag. Chu's been a little more off the line than he normally would, a few steps right of the cut of the grass. 1-2 once again, hammered out toward left field. Finelli's moving back, looking over his head, lands on the warning track, bounces off the wall. Lambden easily comes around to score to make the score 5-2. Navarro cruises into second base, and the throw from Finelli to Williams, the cutoff man, to slow him down. So the Riptide now down by 3. It's 5-2 in the bottom of the third.
Bradley Navarro comes through once again for the Riptide. Sails that one over the left fielder's head. Finelli, it bounces off the wall. The run comes home. 5-2, the Bombers lead.
The 9th extra base hit from Navarro so far this year. And the 9th RBI as well. That'll be Zach Crandall, cleanup man in the righty box against the lefty in Peak. Navarro on second with 1 out. High and tight to Crandall, who ducks backwards. It'll be a 1-0 now. Tied now, only trail by 3. Much more doable than the 4 they started with. In this inning, at least. 1-0, catch the outside corner, 1-1. Crandall this year, been a .269 with a .406 on base percentage. Only 2 extra base hits out of his 7. 1-1 toward the catcher. Hit out toward the right side toward second base. Muffing it originally as Bonham throws over to first, finally gets the out, but looked scary there for a second as Navarro moves over to third.
Looked like it was going to be a routine play for Lucas Bonham, just bobbled it, but picked it up and threw to first on time to secure the out. Luke Johnson stepping up, looking for RBI number 8.
Johnson walked earlier, stole second and stole third, and came around on the air from Swidler, who launched it into left field trying to catch him stealing. That was the first run of 2 for the Riptide. It's 5-2 right now with Navarro on third and 2 outs in this bottom of the third. Peak brings a breaking ball, which Johnson swings over the top of 0-1. Doesn't even take his time out of the righty box. Stays right in it, looks toward Peak, who raises 0-1. Hit out toward shortstop. Williams will routinely grab and throw to first. Probably the easiest play he'll make so far today. And so the Riptide do bring across 1 on 2 hits. No errors and a runner left on base, and Bradley Navarro at third. We will head to the top of the 4th with the Riptide down by 3. It's 5-2. And we're suddenly in the top of the 4th inning with the Bombers leading 5-2. The Riptide have brought across a 1 in each time they've come up bat, but it's not their turn. It's the Bombers' turn at the plate. And it'll be Harrison, then Williams, and Swidler. So bottom lineup, which will turn over after Harrison. Bond still out of the mound, brings the first one, and finds the outside corner for strike number 1.
Bond's looked really good ever since that 2nd inning. 5 up and 5 down since then.
In those 5 that Bonds put down in a row, 4 of which were to strikeouts. 0-1, outside corner for strike number 2. So continues the trend of pitching well.
For the Bombers, you gotta continue to be able to put runs across. The Riptide are inching closer. Back-to-back innings where they've scored 1 run.
0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Crandall taps him for good measure, but another strikeout for Bond. That is his 3rd strikeout in a row and 5th in his past 6 batters that he's seen.
It's an excellent job by Nick Bond, a way to settle down and pound the zone and get the strikeout from Aidan Harrison.
So lineup will turn over now. It's a switch hitter and Williams who's on the left side. And the first pitch outside, 1-0. So after 3 straight pitches, finally a ball from Bond, who seems to have found his stuff at this point. Also misses. It's a 2-0 count with 1 out and nobody on in the top of 4. 5-2, the Bombers are leading. They have 6 hits. Riptide only have 3. That's been the story other than the errors for the Riptide, who have 2 already, as Williams fouls this one off the mitt of Crandall. Then it'll roll all the way back. It'll be a 2-1 count now. Bond looks in, is shaked a few times, finally nods, and will come out of the windup for the 2-1. Big swing and a miss from leadoff man Williams to make it 2-2. Williams so far today 1 for 2, doubled back in the second, which brought across a run, and then he came around for the latest run for the Bombers to make it 5-2. Now here's the 2-2, which is fouled back against the screen. Keeps it at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. On the second pitcher the Riptide have used today, it's supposedly a bullpen day, so I'm assuming that number will move up quickly. Not sure how much longer we'll see him, but nobody in the bullpen for the Tide yet. 2-2 again. Misses on the chalk line on the lefty box, so a full count. Middle infield playing just about on the outfield grass. Everyone's standard in the outfield. Payoff pitch is hit out toward left field. Standing still before moving back is Salmon, and he'll catch in just about left center for out number 2 of this top of the 4th inning. Had to work for it, but Bond gets the 2nd out of the inning and has now retired 7 straight. Ethan Swidler, the righty catcher, steps in now. Bond comes out of the windup, first pitch to him. It's hammered out toward right center field, moving over is Navarro, never a doubt, finally gets under it, and it'll be out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down once again for Nick Bond, retires the 8th in a row now, 5 of which via strikeout. And, well, he's going to continue moving when we come back out for the 5th, you got to assume. But while we wait, it'll be Luke Johnson, Reed Montgomery, and then Henry McDonald coming out for the bottom of 4 for the Riptide. It'll be Tyler Pristocco coming out on the mound now for the Bombers, facing off against 6-7-8 for the Riptide. Two lefties and McDonald, who's sandwiched in between as a righty. So it'll be Montgomery, McDonald, Salmon against Pristocco, the right-hander, who has pitched against the Riptide before.
It's his second appearance. One of them was against the Riptide, a tough one for Pristocco, only a third of an inning, when he gave up 3 runs, 3 hits, and walked 2 batters.
So he'll be taking over for Peak, who finished with 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs. Had 2 walks against him and then 3 strikeouts to his name. Montgomery, the lefty, against the righty Pristocco. First pitch of the bottom of 4. Misses for ball number 1. Bombers leading by 3. It's 5-2, but the Riptide have a little bit of momentum on their side. They've scored in the past 2 innings that they've come up to bat.
Big issue for Pristocco this summer has been the control.
1-0 curveball, which just misses outside. Certainly that ball looked like it had a lot of movement, just missed a few inches off of the black. So it'll be a 2-0 count now for Montgomery, who struck out looking in his first attempt. 2-0. Bounces off the chalk line of the lefty box, makes it 3-0. So not in the best spot to, or I guess in a good spot not to strike out in this at-bat. But if you're Pristocco, tough way to start 3 straight balls in the 3-0. Makes it a 4th straight ball. 4-pitch walk to start things off for Pristocco. And yet again, the Riptide have a runner on to start.
Yeah, you brought up a great point. That's not the way you want to start the outing for Pristocco, especially against a team who you struggled mightily against last time.
There's not a lot to smile at just yet for Brian Evans, but if you're looking at the scorebook, one thing that I would be smiling at is the fact that in each of the innings that you've come up to hit, you have your leadoff man on base. So a quick mound meeting after 4 straight balls from Tyler Pristocco. This is where the batter rule comes into effect, where you have to face a few extra batters before you can immediately pull them, you would assume. Another right-hander warming up for the Bombers. Looks also like a righty warming up for the Riptide, or a lefty, excuse me. So after Montgomery, who just walked, it will be Henry McDonald and Jack Salmon stepping up, a righty and then a lefty. Everyone disperses. Swidler will run back behind home plate. McDonald will walk up to a little bit of AC/DC and step into the righty box against the righty Pristocco. Reed Montgomery, a fast guy, he stands on first. Pristocco coming out of the stretch now. Montgomery, first pitch is going. Curveball behind the zone, misses. Throw is high over to second. Easy stolen base from Montgomery. So a ball from Pristocco makes it a 5th straight. It's a 1-0 count now toward McDonald with Montgomery stolen base. Now he's on second.
And that's the 5th stolen base tonight from the Riptide. Another runner in scoring position to start.
Pristocco sets on the first base side of the rubber. Looks back toward Montgomery, 1-0. Finally finds the strike zone with the curveball on the inside, part 1-1. And if you're McDonald, you had a red light until you saw a strike from Pristocco. So now finally you're able to swing around. Montgomery, big lead at second. Pristocco hasn't noticed yet. Doesn't even look back, 1-1. Misses high, 2-1 count with no outs. And Montgomery on second in this 5-2 ball game, bottom of 4.
It's a great opportunity for the Riptide to strike back, down by 3 runs, and a pitcher in Pristocco who's struggling.
Pristocco sets. Hasn't looked back toward Montgomery, still didn't. 2-1 fouled back against the screen, so a 2-2 count now. And if I'm Montgomery, I'm starting to take note of the fact that Pristocco hasn't noticed how big your lead is. Maybe check this one. If he looks back, then, well, you keep that as of note. But if he didn't look back on yet another pitch, I'd go on whatever movement you see. Obviously, there's a reason I'm in the broadcast booth and not on the base paths. But Pristocco sets, looks down, doesn't look toward Montgomery, looking at McDonald. Now he looks at Montgomery. So his lead disperses a little bit. 2-2 swung on and missed from McDonald, the 4th strikeout of the day for the Bombers. The first out of this inning and the first strikeout from Tyler Pristocco, which that's a good bounce back after a first pitch walk.
Definitely is. And yeah, he was struggling to find the zone, and you come back with the strikeout to McDonald. That gives you a lot of confidence, and Jack Salmon coming up.
Jack Salmon, a guy who has struggled quite a bit recently. Aidan, you found a stat a little bit earlier where, well, he just hasn't gotten the bat going in the last 20 at-bats, that's for sure. One out, man on second in Montgomery. First pitch. Swing and a miss over the top of the curveball.
And Salmon 2 for his last 21 at-bats. Just hasn't been able to get it going all summer long.
5 hits so far this season, 2 of which were doubles. One out, Montgomery on second. Riptide down by 3. It's 5-2 in the bottom of 4. Salmon, the lefty, looks on toward Prestacco, the righty. He looks at Montgomery, moving over as Williams towards second. No pickoff move. Curveball on the outside part of the zone, which missed. So it'll be a 1-1 count. And you talked about it early, almost foreshadowing kind of what we would see, which I guess that's your job. But just the control from Prestacco hasn't necessarily been there. 1-1's hit hard out toward left field. Finelli's going to be moving backwards and moving toward his right. Makes a good catch a few feet in front of the warning track for out number 2. And then Salmon, the struggles for him in the batter's box struggle continues a little bit more.
So that's sent down for the second time today, and Prestacco is working with 2 outs and a runner on second.
Yeah, so after walking the first batter in Montgomery in 4 pitches, he's done pretty well to get 2 outs in a row. But has to deal with the righty Camden Sauce, the 9 batter. Certainly doesn't want things to turn over toward Lambden, who's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. So Sauce, the big righty, steps in. Montgomery's still on second, now with 2 outs though. Prestacco looks back. We'll see if he heard me say hasn't looked back toward Montgomery at all. First pitch misses in the lefty box, 1-0. The Riptide have brought across a run in each of the past 2 innings out of 3 that they've played in so far, but haven't just yet in this 4th. Closest guy is Montgomery on second. Only a left turn away. 1-0 to Sauce is in there outside. Part 1-1. Prestacco takes a little bit of a wander around. Finally returns to his home on the rubber. He'll sit, get ready on the first base side. Now set. Feet pretty much just shoulder width apart. Now a little bit closed. 1-1. In there with the curveball outside. Part makes it a 1-2 toward Camden Sauce.
Camden Sauce looking to reach for the first time today after he struck out 3 times on Tuesday. So love to turn that around.
Guy that strikes out a pretty decent amount. 17 strikeouts already this year. Prestacco's hoping to make that 18. He gets set, 1-2. Curveball outside, Part. Sauce made a movement with the bat, but did not go around, says Stuart Kohler, our first base umpire. So makes it a 2-2 count with 2 outs, a man on second, and number 2, Camden Sauce up to the plate.
You brought it up earlier in the at-bat. If he's able to find a way to get on with 2 runners, Jake Landman steps up. He's on the on-deck circle.
5-2, bottom of 4. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Big strikeout from Prestacco to strand Montgomery at second. That's the 4th runner left on base for the Riptide in this game. They don't get any hits in that inning on no errors, but left a guy on base. We'll head to the top of the 5th. The Bombers are up 5-2, and we'll hope to add a few more. And we're here, top of 5 now. Andrew Giesler, Aidan, Pham alongside me. And the Bombers and the Riptide out on the field today. Bombers leading 5-2 in this top half of the 5th. Carter Dan's the new pitcher. Normally we see him a lot in the outfield. It's going to be his second appearance on the mound, looking on toward 3-4-5, Bonham, Jones, and Roca. First pitch from Dan's in there on the outside. Part for strike number 1.
It's his second appearance this summer. The last was against the Oaks back on Saturday.
A 1 foul tipped into the glove, or pumped out of the glove afterwards of Crandall. So makes it an 0-2, and Carter Dan's in a good spot for his strikeout. Talked about normally out there in center field, a guy who hits pretty well as well. Bats second relatively recently. But was clean up yesterday against the Foresters. 0-2. Misses high and outside. And I said bats well. He's batting .282 this year. And a .396 on base percentage. One of 4 guys on this Riptide lineup who do have a home run this year. He sets at the belt. Will be coming out of the stretch with nobody on. And the 1-2. Which is fouled back against the screen to our right.
That's a good point you bring up. Most of his starts this summer have been in the outfield, but at Northwestern, where he plays baseball, he's mostly a pitcher there.
He quickly sets the belt. No outs, nobody on. 5-2, top of 5. Dan's raises slowly, 1-2. Golfed out toward right field, buzz at the tower of the bullpen for the Bombers, who does have someone throwing around, which is Wyatt Thomas, the right-hander. So it'll stay a 1-2 count. Dan's gets set once more. Looks toward Lucas Bonham. It's reached twice today. 1-2. Hit in off the screen to our right again. So we'll see a 1-2 yet again. Said reached twice today. He reached in the first due to an error at third base and then got on via a single in the second. His third trip. Dan's trying to strike him out. 1-2. Just misses high at shoulder level. 2-2 count now.
For Dan's, it's a 3-pitch mix. He's got that fastball up to 94, a curveball, and changeup.
Takes his time. Sees the one that he wants. Nods toward Crandall. Lifts for the 0-2-2. Rolled back toward him. He'll be able to make this play. Catches it with the right. Throws with the left on to first for out number 1. Definitely one of the guys who is able to make plays in the field. Is not just a pitcher, obviously a two-way player who plays in the outfield as well.
We saw him make a start in the infield at first base also this week.
So it'll now be Jeremy Jones, the lefty, stepping into the box. An RBI single batting the first, which he came around to score. 0-0 thinks about drag bunting down toward the third base side. Misses. And it pops out of the glove of Crandall, but a strike either way. Dan's gets set. Quick pitch, 1-0. In there for strike number 2. And a whole lot of timing disruptions right now from Carter Dan's. He raises and takes his time, and that one slide steps down toward Crandall immediately to make it an 0-2 count. Well, nobody on. 5-2, top of 5. 0-2. Get some looking. Called strike 3. Can I help you? Nope, just shopping around. So it'll be out number 2 in this top of the 5th after the backwards strikeout from Carter Dan's to Jeremy Jones. Served that curveball up on a platter, and it just dropped off the cliff to the middle of the zone.
Nice pitch for his second strikeout this summer. Carter Dan's.
Mike Roca, the righty, up now. With 2 outs and nobody on. Watches the first one up top. Misses.
It'd be interesting to see down the line how many innings Carter Dan's ends up going. He went 1 against the Oaks and is trying to get back into pitching.
1-0 is low. It's 2-0 count now with 2 outs and nobody on. And this is a big game for the Riptide right now, who are only a half game behind the Saints. And the Saints right now are in the top of the 7th inning, down 9-1 to Slow, a team up in the north. 2-0 swung on and missed. It's a 2-1 count now. And I say that because if the Riptide can jump the Saints, now they have 2 teams behind them that would need to catch up in order to bounce them out of the playoffs. Right now they're in that 3 spot. You also look around. The Barons just got a huge win against the Foresters, 3-0. 2-1. Bounces in the dirt and drills Crandall right in the heart. So it'll be a 3-1 toward the righty and Mikey Roca.
And it's definitely open. Any team can beat any team. The Foresters are coming off back-to-back losses. Barons are on the up.
3-1 in there for strike number 2. It's a 3-2 count now with 2 outs and nobody on. Riptide looking to sit down the Bombers for the 3rd straight inning in 1-2-3 fashion. Dans is the one trying to do that. Full count, here it comes. Is high, it misses. It'll be a walk in the first walk today for Carter Dans and the second one for the Riptide.
Riptide did a really nice job back on Tuesday limiting the walks, and that was a big reason why they were able to come out on top.
So after sitting down 10 straight batters, now the Bombers finally have a base runner. Dans steps off with a left and rifles over to McDonald at first, trying to see if Roca was going to get caught wrong-footed. He did not. Allen Chu up in the lefty box, way in the back of it. First pitch misses low. It'll be a 1-0 count. So 2 outs, man on first in Mikey Roca. 5-2 Bombers lead right now in the top of the 5th. 1-0. Slider bottom part of the zone. Catches it 1-1. Chu, in his last game against the Riptide, went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Batting 143 on the year, yet to get an RBI. Dan's 1-1. Hit towards center field. Moving over to his right in Montgomery. He's a lot tougher play than it normally looked. Ball continued to slice toward him, but the speedster catches it with the right hand for out number 3 of this top of the 5th inning. That'll be all for me. Hand things off to Aidan Pham, who's got you the rest of the way. 5-2, Riptide are down by 3. We'll head to bottom of 5.
Hi guys, over here with Johnny. Johnny, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking the Crushable Coach IPA. I'm loving it. We are 5.
We welcome you back to Great Park, bottom of the 5th inning. Aidan Pham alongside Andrew Giesler with you. The OC Riptide and San Diego Bombers on this Thursday night. Jake Lambden, Riley Hunsaker, and Bradley Navarro are due up in this inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Bombers is number 20, Wyatt Thomas, the right-handed pitcher. His first pitch in the zone, strike 1 against Jake Lambden, who's been great tonight for Orange County. 2 doubles and 2 stolen bases in his 2 at-bats. Thomas gets set, fires low and outside for ball 1. Jake Lambden, new addition in his 3rd game as a Riptide, played ball at Xavier this past year, transferring to Duke in the fall. 1-1. Outside, 2-1 the count. Thomas pitches at Golden West College under Riptide head coach Brian Evans. He's made 14 appearances there this year, a 1-2 record. Is out there on the mound, lifts the legs, the 2-1. Down the middle for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes against Lambden, who starts at shortstop today, looking for hit number 3. Has 2 today. So far, it's his first multi-hit game of the season. 2-2. Ground ball, a couple bounces to second base. It's picked up by Bonham, and he drops it. Lambden has reached for the 3rd time today, and for the 4th inning in a row, the Riptide have the leadoff man on.
The Riptide just constantly able to get this leadoff man on, and it's Hunsaker's turn now to try to get him around. And I talked to Coach Evans, well, why do you have Navarro in the 3 slot after Hunsaker? And he said, well, it's to get the runners around, try to get the RBIs for him, and just get runs on the board.
Hunsaker stares at the pitch miss upstairs. Lambden's on first. He reached, and it goes down as an error on the scoreboard by the second baseman. A 1-0 count against Hunsaker. No batting gloves on, and he waves the bat above his left shoulder, awaiting the 1-0 from Wyatt Thomas. The pickoff attempt to first, sliding back head first, is Jake Lambden. He's already stole 2 bases tonight. Thomas on the mound, making his 4th appearance. 9 innings pitched. The 1-0 is inside for 2 balls and no strikes. A lefty on righty matchup between Hunsaker and Wyatt Thomas. Hunsaker in the lineup as the DH today. He's 0 for 2. 2-0. Towering high pop up towards the mound. The catcher, Swidler, removes the mask and makes the grab for out number 1 of the bottom of the 5th.
Good job from Thomas to at least get that out. It's going to be tough to get Navarro out. Doesn't ground in double plays all that often. Is a really just tough guy when he's in the batter's box, and the first time that we'll see him on the left side today.
Switch hitter, and like Andrew said, batting left-handed against the righty Wyatt Thomas. His first pitch, swung on and driven towards right field. Working back is Jones, and he makes the makes the catch for the out. And what a play it was from Jeremy Jones out there. That ball looked like it was carrying, and he works towards the line and makes the catch in the corner. Jake Lambden advances to second.
And Navarro thought it was gone. He, as soon as he was rounding first base, was a little bit frustrated because he thought he got all of that ball, and he did. It just wasn't enough. The ball just doesn't fly as well as it normally does out here in Great Park. Lambden tagging, got to second.
Pitch to Crandall, called ball 1. It goes down as a loud fly out for Brady Navarro. There's 2 away. Crandall 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first and grounded to second. Smacks one right towards right field. Jones this one a little easier, makes the grab for out number 3. Riptide trailing 5-2. Top of the 6th coming up next, and we bring you a special guest from the booth. We welcome you back to Great Park. It's the top of the 6th inning, the Riptide trailing 5-2, and we welcome you into the booth, Aidan Pham alongside Andrew Giesler, and we're joined by Hawes Fregoso. And Hawes, welcome to the booth. And just right off the bat, how does it feel being up here rather than the bullpen during the game?
Very different. You got a nice view from up here.
Able to see everything.
Yeah, definitely.
New pitcher in the game, Sean Cannon for the Riptide, making his debut. He played ball at St. Mary's this year, 12 appearances. Dylan Fishbow, Gianluca Fanelli, and Aidan Harrison do up. First pitch from Cannon, squared up and pulled it back, misses upstairs for ball one. So, Fregoso, I mean, how has this summer been so far? You're with the Riptide.
It's been fun. You know, I finally got a long outing this Tuesday, so that was really fun. But the guys are cool. The atmosphere is really, it's competitive but relaxed, so I think it's perfect summer ball setting.
And how hard was that coming out of the bullpen? I mean, you see Hickey, you get the call. It was Coach Evan goes, it's out, and yells to you. You get your glove and run out. How was that?
Yeah. Well, I've never done that. Never had no warm-ups, honestly, so it was a little weird, something new, but it didn't really give me time to think, so I think it kind of worked in my favor a little bit.
And it definitely did work in your favor. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, and 5 strikeouts. So, and you got the win as well. Pitch.
Oh, cool.
Peel down at first, didn't go around. It's 3 balls and 1 strike against Dylan Fishbow.
Do you not know you got the win?
I didn't really think about it, honestly. I just went out there and threw.
3-1 count against Fishbow. He's already struck out twice today. Cannon looking for his first of the summer. 3-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. So full count against Dylan Fishbow.
Have you ever had your hat come off when you pitch? Throw it so hard that your hat comes off like that?
You know, when my hair was a little longer, I had that problem a little bit, but not as of recently. Yeah, it's been staying on there.
3-2s. Swung on and missed by Fishbow. He's struck out for the 3rd time today. Nice pitch from Sean Cannon.
That's my throwing partner right there.
That's your throwing partner right there?
Yeah, as of late.
Strikeout number 8. Now, yeah, I was just about to ask you that. What can you tell us about Sean Cannon, who's on the mound for the first time this summer?
He's a cool guy. Play catch with him every day. His stuff is good. It's good to finally see him out there on the mound.
Gianluca Fanelli, the batter. Sends one over the head of Johnson, and it drops into right field for a base hit. So the second of the day for Fanelli. It's the 7th hit for the Bombers.
That's 13 batters since the last hit from the Bombers. That was back in the 2nd inning when Lucas Bonham got the hit. Pitching's been doing pretty well since then. And Hawes, you're obviously a bullpen guy. What can you say about the activity in bullpens or in the bullpen when you're not hot, when you're not starting? What's it kind of like? Are you in on the festivities, or you kind of stay locked in on the game?
Yeah, I mean, I'll join sometimes, but mostly I'm watching everybody, you know, do whatever they do in the bullpen. You know, you can look over there and see what we're doing, but typically I'm just sitting down chilling.
1-0 count against Aidan Harrison. A runner on first. Cannon went around, strike 1.
It's sometimes hard for us because we say, a pitcher's doing good, but I see someone throwing out. Oh, it's Johnny Rodriguez throwing in the bullpen. He's someone that always gets us.
Yeah, no, this is a very loosely ran bullpen, honestly. But they've been sending us to the dugout now more often than not because, we got to be locked in a little more.
Who's a funny guy in the bullpen, or which one makes you laugh the most?
Dane Grant, I would say, I talk to him a lot. He's funny. He's funny down there. He's always telling me a story about something.
We had him in the booth the other day, as we do have food coming up here for the food review.
Nice.
Have you had a chance to try the Pear Tree Meats Barbecue at Great Park?
No, I haven't. I've been here.
Right,
I've been seeing it around, but I have not tried it myself.
You don't need to go for it immediately necessarily. We do have the full inning forks all the way around. Here we go.
Awesome.
Here we go.
3-1 count against Aidan Harrison, who doubled in the second inning. That was his first hit of the summer for the Bombers. Cannon gets set in front of the Jess. It's 3-1. Ball 4, and Harrison reaches for the second time today on the walk.
Third walk of the day for the Riptide, and I'd love to ask this question to pitchers. I know I told you we weren't going to talk about baseball that much, but having a coach like Brian Evans, who pitched previously, what's that like, having a head coach that has a pitching mind?
It's honestly it's a very nice thing to have. Kind of get to pick his brain sometimes. If you're feeling something's off, you could always ask him. He was helping me out with my changeup the other day, so I threw a few of those on Tuesday, which worked out for me. It's definitely a perk to have someone like that as your head coach as well as your pitching coach.
Thomas Williams steps up. He had an RBI double in the second with runners on first and second with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Cannon looks at second. Another look at second. Lifts the leg, fires the pitch, and misses low for ball 1. All right, I think we're staring at it. We might as well take a bite.
I think so also. We got mac and cheese here for you as well.
Yeah,
I think this is the brisket.
This looks great.
Might be a little bit late, but I'd go small bite.
We had an incident earlier this season with that.
I also think just from watching Cannon, the first takeaway that I have is we need to get him maybe a smaller hat because the hat keeps going flying.
1-1. Opposite batter's box, 2 balls and 1 strike. And yeah, Andrew, you and I have had the pear tree meet a couple of times, and it's always great. Interested to hear your take on it.
Really good.
I can't believe this is your first time.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. This is amazing. I'm starving too, so this is like great.
Have you tried the mac yet?
No,
the
not
mac's
yet.
my personal favorite.
Let's see.
2-1 count against Thomas Williams. The pitch high for a ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 runners on. That's Harrison on first, Finelli's on second with 1 out, top of the 6th.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, it has a little bit of a sweeter taste, honestly, the mac and cheese, but it's really good.
That's what everyone said. It's good. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
You guys can smell that down there on the...
Yeah, like, I always smell it. I'm always like, oh shoot, that looks good, but I've never tasted it.
Full count against Thomas Williams.
That's why we always get takers to come up in the booth and talk with us because they know it means food.
Wow, this is super. I'm gonna finish this here soon.
Wow, it's a 3-2 count with 2 runners on against Thomas Williams. Sean Cannon looking for the second out of this inning. 3-2. Misses high for ball 4. So that's the second walk issued this inning. The bases are loaded with Aidan Swidler stepping up.
So I've got to ask, let's say you are in this scenario, what's McDonald coming up? What's he talking about with you with, bases loaded, only 1 out? Is it related to baseball? I've heard Jimmy tries to say he tries to keep it away from baseball. What's it like with you? What do you want to hear?
Yeah, I would say honestly, just say something to reset my mind. I mean, there's a few cues that I have, like just throw it over the plate. In this scenario, I'd probably want to double play, so I'd try and keep the ball low maybe. But yeah, just trusting in yourself and knowing you're gonna get out of this, even though it might be a little bit of a rough situation. I just have faith in yourself. That's what I tell myself, at least.
Quick mound visit from Brian Evans. And what's he like out when he's out there for a mound visit?
Actually, I haven't ever had a mound visit from
Really?
Have you not?
Wow.
No, I've had him hand me the ball, but never a mound visit. Yeah, so I don't really know. I couldn't tell you. I'd assume
good
it's
thing.
like
4 1/3, and he's never come out to talk to you?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bases loaded for Aidan Swidler.
I'd imagine it'd be
First
something
pitch
like,
misses for ball 1.
hey, you all right? Stuff. Just get out of there. That's pretty much it. That's how I imagine him talking.
It's a good Brian Evans impression. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And now you know when you're going to have a mound visit. The next time we're going to have you up here again, and you're going to have to tell us if that was accurate.
Yeah.
just so you know.
2 balls, no strikes. Bases loaded. 1 out. Cannon the pitch. Up and in for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes against Ethan Swidler. The bases are loaded. The Bombers lead 5-2 in the top of the 6th.
Sounds like Keith's down there.
Cannon gets set. 3-0. In the zone, strike 1. And Keith obviously is a Riptide super fan. Can you guys hear him from in the
Yeah, I'm
open?
pretty sure anybody in the park could hear him. I remember the first time I ran into him at one of my junior college games. I was super caught off guard. But he's a great fan.
Pitch is fouled off by Ethan Swidler, so it's a full count.
I'll have you answer this after the full count because obviously a big pitch coming up. But if you think of anything, how do you react to someone that is either on your side like that, a super fan, or against your side? Let's wait until after this pitch. But
Black glove gets set. Cannon the 3-2. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 9 tonight for the Riptide, number 2 for Sean Cannon. There's 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
I think sort of just tuning them out, honestly.
you're able to tune them out when they're yelling that much?
It's, if you're super locked in, I think, yeah. I don't really hear anything, but, sometimes you'll hear it and you'll just kind of laugh to yourself, go with the flow.
Lucas Bonham steps up. Planted foul off the home plate umpire, Bradley Murda. Gets checked on to make sure he's okay.
That was a tough foul back. So have you had anybody other than Keith as someone, because Keith is for you guys, have you ever had someone that's against you guys per se?
Yeah, well, I actually had Keith against me when we were playing against OCC. So that was, it was a little tough to tune him out, honestly, but yeah, you kind of just have to work through it. At the end of the day, it's just, it's fans having fun, you having fun, and there's going to be distractions, so you just have to focus on one thing at a time. That's really all there is to it.
Did you see the bunny rabbit in the field yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
That thing screamed across the infield, and I don't know who was on the mound, but I was thinking that must have been impossible if you even had slightly saw that thing. That was wild.
As they check on the home plate umpire, make sure he's okay. And you know what I find funny? Keith always sits down there, and I see him in between at-bats just chatting with the guy on deck, and I always wonder what he's saying to them, because they're talking back to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting combo.
We had Camden Sauce when we were at Arroyo Seco. They put us up, it was basically wherever this glass is was the fence, and in front of us was the on-deck hitter. And we had Johnny Rodriguez up, and Sauce turned around and he said, he's going oppo. And he said he points over this way. And I'm like, oh, okay. Insider information, he might be going oppo. Next pitch, just yanks one down the first base line. And I was like, yeah, thanks, Sauce. That was great information. And gets a double or triple or something like that. He has a handful of triples. I mean, he had 2 the other day.
Yeah.
He moves around the base path.
He does.
But, yeah. I always love to bring up with pitchers Bradley Navarro's line. You think you're ready to hear that?
Yeah,
So
let's see it.
416 average, 520 on base percentage, 600 slugging, and 75 plate appearances.
Jeez.
If you were to pitch to a guy like Navarro, what's the thought process? Do you just hope you don't scout him and don't know he's that hot?
Yeah, I hope I don't know how good he is, and I hope I just try and get him to roll out or something. It's hard to strike out guys when they're that hot.
Well, yeah, I won't say last strikeout was quite a bit ago. He struck out 3 times so far this year. We were on a pace at one point where he hadn't struck out, and I think it was like 37 or 38 plate appearances.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Before the Barons game.
No, against hitters like that, you really just have to try and sometimes pitch around them, honestly. Trying to get them to chase or something.
Home plate umpire Murda is okay after it's checked on back behind the dish, and Lucas Bonham faces an 0-1 count. Cannon strides and deals in the zone for strike 2. And in between, like whenever you have like breaks like that where it's a long time, how do you just stay warm? What's the mindset like during those moments?
Staying locked in is probably the hardest part in between long innings, but I think visualizing just your next inning helps me a lot, at least. And just visualization of the next inning is what helps me.
And swing and a miss from Lucas Bonham. That's the 10th strikeout tonight, the 3rd in this inning from Sean Cannon. We'll take a quick break. It's the top of the 6th. Riptide trailing 5-2. Come back with Fregoso. Back from Irvine, bottom of the 6th inning, the Bombers left the bases loaded. A nice job by Sean Cannon to get out of that. Luke Johnson, Reed Montgomery, and Henry McDonald due up in this inning. Johnson was walked in the second, came around to score. The first pitch from Wyatt Thomas misses for ball 1.
Nas, I always like to see when we go to the bottom part. When was the last time you hit?
Oh, that was like in a game?
Yeah, in a game. We're not saying BP.
My freshman fall of college.
How'd it go?
It went all right. I had a rough fall.
Okay.
But I went into college as a two-way.
Oh, really?
I wanted to be a two-way, but then we had no pitching, so they were like, yeah, you're becoming a PO.
There you go. We've heard a lot of answers. We've heard Nate Hellman not to just throw a stray at him. He said the last time he hit was 3 pitches and he walked back to the dugout. So it wasn't because he got bad on ball.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of people who have said that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Full count against Luke Johnson, looking to get aboard for the second time today. The pitch bounces foul on the left side. We do 3-2. So we were obviously talking about the barbecue like mid-inning. What's your, just interested, what's your pregame meal look like, or what's food on the game day?
I don't really have a set meal. I know a lot of guys do, but I kind of just I'll always bring 2 PB&Js though to eat throughout the game. But before games, it's kind of just up in the air really a lot of times.
So you say, will that be? Hold on, we'll ask this after the 3-2.
Wyatt Thomas fires, lifted in the infield. He First baseman Alan Chu reaches over his head, makes the grab for out number 1 of the bottom of the 6.
So what I was asking is, are those PB&Js, even if you are pitching, will you, let's say you are going a longer outing, right? So you do an inning, and then are you thinking, oh, man, I'm hungry, I'm going to slam this PB&J before I go out? Or is this like, you set it for third inning, or are you not superstitious at all really with what you do?
Yeah, if I'm hungry, I'll eat it. I'll usually eat one like in the first, and then
first?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
I know. I spread them out weird. But if I go pitch, I'll usually eat the second one after that.
Grounded to first, underhand to the pitcher. It's dropped. So Reed Montgomery reaches safely. That's his second time today. He extended his on-base streak to 13 games back in the 4th. Aboard for the second time today, and Henry McDonald steps up.
That's at least on the scoreboard, the 6th error between these two teams today, which obviously is not ideal from either side. Riptide have done a better job before this game to eliminate those errors, but it was really early on that they had those troubles.
Henry McDonald, a catcher, and he gets the start at first base today for Orange County. He pickoff attempt, Reed Montgomery back safely. And what's your relationship with these catchers been? We obviously know Jimmy Zakar is a fan favorite, Crando and McDonald as well.
Yeah, I think my relationship's pretty good. I feel like I probably talked to Jimmy and Henry a little more, but they're all really cool. Jimmy I played with last summer, so I've known him for a little longer. But they're all super cool catchers. I'm glad Jimmy finally got to catch me on Tuesday.
Was that do you play in Texas, or was that previously Jimmy played in Texas?
No.
What was last summer you played in?
We played with the Sunrays.
Right.
In the CCL
right.
as well.
First pitch misses upstairs to McDonald. 1 ball, no strikes.
So what would you say catcher-wise? I'm not saying names or anything like that. Is it easier definitely to just pitch to one catcher primarily? Do you prefer, or do you not really care who's behind the plate as long as they're putting down the right numbers?
Yeah, I think there's definitely like if your catcher knows what you want to throw before you even do, that's definitely it helps a lot. But it doesn't bother me too much, like a different catcher who's catching me, you know. It's obviously easier for them if they've seen my pitches before, but it doesn't bother me too much.
Henry McDonald pops it up to shortstop. Thomas William makes the grab. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Jack Salmon, the new batter. 0 for 2 today is Jack Salmon, and he sends one in the air. It curls foul and drops in the seats on the left side. 0-1 the count.
So I've got to ask, your off days, obviously you didn't get an off Monday here, but pitchers you might get a little bit more with the away games if you're not traveling.
Yeah.
What does an off day look like? Are you a beach guy, or is it sit at home and just like let the shoulder hang and do nothing? What do you got going on?
Yeah, lately I've been getting into the pool a lot. Not too big of a beach guy, honestly, but yeah, I'll relax. Maybe I'll get a lift in, and then eat good, hit the pool.
Big pool guy, it sounds like, because we've said pool a few times.
Watch a movie, you know, super laid back.
Over to first, it gets by 2. Reed Montgomery takes off for second. He rounds second, headed for 3. The ball is out of play on the right side. Looked like it snuck out of the fence.
Yeah. Big coffee guy too.
You're a coffee guy?
Yeah, big coffee guy.
Does that mean, like, you go to Starbucks or Dunkin' and you get coffee, or do you kind of, you got your Kroger or whatever?
I'll look for, like, a different coffee shop sometimes on off days.
Really?
You know, like, try different ones. But I also make my own, like, I have my own espresso machine at home and stuff.
Wow.
You know, I'll buy the premium beans and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to get down that latte art, but it's not coming. It comes out like a blob most of the time.
1-2 count to Jack Salmon. Reed Montgomery is on third. Salmon looking for his first hit today. He 1-2. Called ball 2, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. The Bombers lead 5-2. Jack Salmon with Reed Montgomery 90 feet from home. Black batting gloves, waves the bat next to his blue helmet. The 2-2 just misses, and it's a full count against Jack Salmon.
It's like, speaking of Jack O'Malley starting to slowly move around in the pen for the Riptide. And I know he has somewhat of an extensive routine to get ready.
Yeah, definitely.
3-2 swung on and miss. Strikeout number 6 from the Bombers, and that concludes the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. The Bombers lead 5-2, but Howes, it was great to have you up here, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Top of the 7th inning, it's a 5-2 ball game. The Bombers lead. Riley Hunsaker is in the game. His first pitch sails outside against Jeremy Jones. Hunsaker, a left-handed pitcher against the righty, who sends it in the air and it curls foul on the left side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeremy Jones today struck out twice. That was in the 2nd and the 5th. Had an RBI single in the 1st, came around to score. 1-1 count, the pitch. Drops in for a strike 2. 1-2. Riptide 10 strikeouts so far tonight, and against a really strikeout-prone team in the Bombers. In the meeting on Tuesday, the Bombers struck out 13 times. This one hammered along the right field line, and it drops foul. Hunsaker last pitched against the Oaks on Sunday. It was 1 inning, 2 hits, and 1 strikeout. Faces a 1-2 count is Jeremy Jones. Hunsaker gets set, fires. Grounder up the middle, a couple high bounces over the glove of Lambden in the center field. Base hit from Jeremy Jones, his 2nd of the day.
That ball originally got over Hunsaker, who kind of did a star pose trying to get his glove up for that one. It wasn't necessarily a great effort, but when you're a pitcher, it's especially that close and that fast coming at you, not much you can do. And just a tough bounce for Lambden, who's not the tallest guy out there at short, but even if he is way up there, he's not getting that ball.
Roca grounds it up the middle in a center field once again. Back-to-back singles from the Bombers, and they've got 2 on for Alan Chu.
Another one right back up the middle. Hunsaker looked like he almost wanted to barehand that one. I think he made the right decision in pulling it away at the last second, but either way, singles up the middle. It's the 9th hit that the Bombers have in this game. Riptide still only have 3.
Alan Chu had a single in the 1st. The pitch from Hunsaker, low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Roca is on 1st. Jeremy Jones is on 2nd. 9 hits so far today for the Bombers. Chu looking to get aboard for the 2nd time. Popped one up to short in the 3rd, flew out to center in the 5th. Hunsaker's pitch, low and in the opposite batter's box, 2-0 the count. Alan Chu was coming into the day looking for his first hit in 2 games. He got it in the 1st. As Hunsaker steps on the mound Gets a sign he likes from Crandall. The glove in front of his belt. Fires. Gets the bottom of the zone for strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Chu was 0 for 4 on Tuesday with 2 strikeouts. Hasn't struck out today yet. Hunsaker looking for his first of the game. 2-1. And it's in for strike 2. 2-2 the count. Took over for Sean Cannon, who had 3 strikeouts and got out of a bases-loaded jam back in the 6th inning. The 2-2 grounded to short. It's scooped up by Lambden. The throw to second for 1. Turn to first, not in time. Looked like a close play at first. The home plate umpire, Stuart Kohler, waved his hand safe.
Certainly looks close, but Brian Evans, who was in the dugout, didn't think so. He's all the way cutting the third baseline in half out there saying, hey, what happened to that? I'm sure it wasn't necessarily as nice words that I just said, but I got to censor myself a little bit on this broadcast.
He's definitely out there, wants an explanation from the first base umpire, and Kohler is over there to talk with Evans. Meanwhile, there's runners on the corners, and Dylan Fishbow is stepping up.
It was a great play by Lambden. He realized that he was down on a knee, and he kind of had to throw that ball pretty quick to Johnson over there at second, or he wasn't even going to have a chance at the one at second. So it was a tough turn, too, either way. But if they did turn it, that makes things a whole lot easier for Hunsaker, and just attack the batter, get that one out instead of having to turn 2 to end the inning and keep it scoreless.
Conversation between Evans and Kohler concludes. Dylan Fishbow, who has struck out in every at-bat today. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, steps up. Came into tonight leading the team in strikeouts with 12. That total is up to 15. Hunsaker with the glove in front of his belt, lifts the leg, fires, squares up, pulls it back. It misses for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Runners on the corners, top of the 7th. Riptide trailing 5-2. Hunsaker, the pitcher, Fishbow, the batter, try to square it up and sends it back into the backstop foul. 1-2 the count. The bat boy retrieves the foul ball. Dylan Fishbow looking to reach for the first time and avoid striking out for the 4th time today. A red arm sleeve on his right arm. He waves the bat, squared it up once again, pulled it back. And it misses for ball 2. 2-1 count.
I'm just looking. The Riptide pitchers have had the number of Fishbow. He's 2 for 18 on them this season with 5 strikeouts, including this game.
2-1 way up. A nice grab by Crandall behind the dish. It's a 3-1 count against Dylan Fishbow. Batting .162 with 2 RBIs. Had a really good season at Stevens Institute of Tech where he was batting .398, had 2 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Tries to bunt, but it rolls towards the on-deck circle. Full count against Dylan Fishbow. Riley Hunsaker in his first inning of work looking to get the out of Fishbow. Close double play didn't go the Riptide's way. The full count pitch misses high for ball 4. The bases are loaded for Gianluca Finelli. Finelli has 2 singles today, 1 in the 1st and the 6th. Ryan Evans is out there for a mound visit. We saw Jack O'Malley warming up in the bullpen, and it's Caden Muckley also moving around in the Riptide bullpen. Hunsaker, this is his first inning of work, gave up the single to Jeremy Jones. Roca also singled. Double play opportunity. They got the turn to 2 for 1, but the play at first, Chu called safe. Dylan Fishbow was walked, and that's where we are. Bases loaded for Gianluca Finelli after the mound visit from Evans concludes. Top of the 7th, 5-2 ball game. Bombers looking to add on. Finelli, the righty, stares at the pitch, miss outside for ball 1. Righty on lefty matchup between Finelli and Hunsaker. 1-0. In for strike 1. Finelli homered on opening day against the Riptide. That was over the left field wall.
It's one of the few left field home runs we've seen at Great Park. There hasn't been a whole lot, but left fielders have been very rare.
1-1 mountain high pop up towards second. Johnson back in towards shallow right field, and he makes the grab for route number 2. Runners stay put.
I like Jones, even though he was staying put. There was no intention to tag on that play. He made a quick few stutter steps to the cut of the grass at third, making sure that Johnson had to throw it to home just to see if Riptide would have another error. There's already been 7 errors between the two teams in this game.
Aidan Harrison to DH is up. Bases are loaded for him. Hunsaker's first pitch misses high for ball 1. Harrison doubled in the second, came around a score, was walked in the 6th. Fishbowl on first, Chu on second, Jeremy Jones on third. There's 2 outs. Hunsaker 1-0. It's the inside part of the plate for strike 1. 1-1 count. Harrison came into today looking for his first hit of the summer. He got it back in the 2nd. Black batting gloves, black bat, waves next to the navy helmet. Hunsaker 1-1. Up and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Strike zone in general, I'm not saying just for the Riptide. Both teams has been rather small today for Bradley Murda.
2 balls, 1 strike, bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch tapped back, foul into the net behind home. 2-2.
It's a big pitch for Hunsaker. Getting to 3-2 puts a lot of pressure on to get one in the strike zone and can lead to bad things. But a good chance here for a strikeout, 2-2, or just a ball in play, get the final out.
The 2nd inning in a row where the Bombers have had the bases loaded. 2-2. Outside, it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
We talked about how good Cannon did getting out of it. Now it's Hunsaker's time.
Looking for strikeout number 1 tonight for Hunsaker. He gets set with the glove in front of his face, shakes off once again, that's twice. Gets a pitch he likes, the runner takes off from first. The pitch, called strike 3. A huge strikeout from Riley Hunsaker gets the Riptide out of the bases loaded jam. Number 11 punch out for the Riptide, headed towards the bottom of the 7th inning. The Riptide look to cut into the 5-2 Bombers lead. Bottom of the 7th inning, a 5-2 Bombers lead. The Riptide were able to get out of the bases loaded jam. Johnny Rodriguez is in the game for Camden sauce. Rodriguez was the leadoff man yesterday for the Riptide. The first pitch from Wyatt Thomas sails outside, 1-0 count. Johnny Rodriguez, 2-game on-base streak. Pitch in for strike one, 1-1 count. Rodriguez yesterday against the Foresters was 0 for 4, scored a run, was walked, and struck out once. Taps one on the right side. It's picked up by Bonham, though tough. The pitcher, Wyatt Thomas, in time for out number 1.
That was the 4th time that Rodriguez has pinch hit this year. Normally a guy who has a big bat, slugging .436 this year with 3 triples, coming off of a game recently, not the last one, but the one before that against the Bombers, where it was 2 for 2 with 2 triples.
Top of the lineup, Jake Lambden. Reached on all 3 of his plate appearances today. Righty-on-righty matchup between him and Wyatt Thomas. Making ball strike 1, or rather ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes with 1 out. Lambden back-to-back singles to start his day in the 1st and 3rd. Reached on an error in the 5th. 1-0. In for strike 1. 1-1 count. Lambden has been great for the Riptide. Extended his hit streak to 3 games today. 1-1 in the air, and it curls foul towards the parking lot. 1-2. Riptide trailing by 3, looking for a couple more runs and tie this ball game up to the Bombers. Wyatt Thomas, his 1-2 pitch. Grounder up the middle. It's rolling in a center field. Base hit for Jake Lambden, his 3rd of the day.
Lambden starting to show why maybe he should be the leadoff hitter for this Riptide team. Has gotten aboard all 4 times, scored in 1, stolen 2 bases as well. But just getting on base and then having someone like Navarro later on that is just always so on fire. .416 average. He's in the on-deck circle right now, but it's Riley Hunsaker, the DH, who's now pitching out there.
He's got a huge strikeout to end the top of the 7th. Now at bat, and he taps it foul in front of home plate. 0-1. We talk about it a lot. It's tough for a guy who's going 2 ways. You pitch in a big moment, and now you got to grab the bat and step up. 0-1 count. Lambden on first for Riley Hunsaker. No batting gloves on, facing Wyatt Thomas, who turns and stares at first as he steps off the mound. Is now back on. Riley Hunsaker reaches down, grabs some dirt, taps the plate 2 times as he steps back in. Now awaits the 0-1. Bounce around on first, Lambden. The pitch misses high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on. Jake Lambden at first. Bottom of the 7th, Bombers lead 5-2. Thomas, a couple looks over at first. The pitch, and it's fouled on the plate once again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thomas really worried with Lambden on first. He's already stolen 2 bases today.
He doesn't even take that big of a lead. It's just how quick he is to jump after the first movement from the righty on the left foot. That's how he's stealing. He's stealing off the pitcher, not necessarily the catcher at all.
Only Hunsaker 0 for 3 today, looking to extend his 2-game hit streak to 3. 1-2. Outside, evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Throw to first, diving back head first is Lambden safely. Hunsaker taps the bat with his foot a couple times, and Wyatt Thomas with the glove in front of his chest strides and deals hard hit ground ball right back up the middle to the pitcher Wyatt Thomas. They don't get the out at second, but Bonham throw on to first gets the out there. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. That ball sent right back to Wyatt Thomas, just no play at second.
It wasn't a play at second, and our umpire, the third base umpire, which was back there, Max Ponce, kind of looked at Lambden for a little bit of time before he was standing on second. Lambden thought he was safe. He was still on second base before Max Ponce finally turns around and says, "Hey, bud, you're out."
Still 2 outs in the bottom of the second for Brady Navarro, who swings and misses for strike 1. Huntsaker's on first for Navarro. RBI double in the third. 0-1. Misses low for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Navarro. Extended his 12-game hit streak to 13 and now 17-game on-base streak. Navarro's been great for the Riptide and continues to do it. A runner on first, he pitch in for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 416. 16 average, 1 home run, and 8 RBIs. Faces a 1-2 count as he leans back and forth in the box. The pitch is tapped foul. It rolls back towards the backstop and it's retrieved. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Brady Navarro. There's 2 outs, bottom of the second. Riley Huntsaker is aboard first. Riptide trailing by 3 runs. Navarro back in the box. Wyatt Thomas, the pitcher, stares at his catcher. Swidler gets a sign. Gets set. 1-2. Up and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's been 3 innings since the Riptide have able to bring a run across, but you look at the other side, it's been 5 since the Bombers have, so relieving for both teams has worked well.
2-2 is low and outside. It's a full count against Bradley Navarro. Navarro leads the team in walks with 14. Retightens those white gloves and is back awaiting the payoff from Wyatt Thomas. Here it is. Misses high for ball 4. Runners on first and second after the walk issued to Navarro.
I feel like I always mention to someone, and I feel like I jinx it, that Navarro is finally going to strike out again, but just he gets to 2 strikes and works so well in that spot as there's going to be a mound visit that it just seems that it's not going to happen because he constantly gets to 2 strikes but just bats so well, walks so well. Don't even think he's gotten hit by that many pitches so far this year. In fact, he hasn't gotten hit by any. It's just the fact that now he has 15 walks this year, leads the team in that category, and leads the team in plate appearances, at-bats, average, on-base percentage, slugging, hitting, doubles. I could just keep going on. It's all the offensive stats, and that's why he should be batting leadoff in this team. But since Brian Evans is seeing that, well, he kind of gets stranded out there a lot. He doesn't necessarily have as many runs as we think he has, or RBIs, I say, because he doesn't lead in that category. They're dropping him down a little bit in the lineup, thinking, well, if he's getting on base, he's getting all these hits, he can drive in more runs if he's a little bit down farther in the lineup.
Mound visit is over for the Bombers. Runners on first and second. Navarro on first. Huntsaker on second for Zach Crando. Crando stares at the first pitch, missed low for ball 1. Crando's 0 for 3 today. He struck out in the first, grounded to second in the third, and flew out to right field. Looking for his first hit today, and it would be a big one with 2 outs inside ball 2.
Yeah, that or just getting on base, really, by a walk or hit by pitch. He's been on base in his past 8 games. That's each game that he's played in, including the pinch hit appearance earlier.
Pitches in for strike 1, and yeah, there's a funny story behind that plate appearance. I don't think we'll deal with that today with Hawes, but you never know. 2-1. Down low, 3 balls and 1 strike against Zach Crando.
And for those of you who don't understand the inside joke reference, we'll make it everyone to be known. Crandall came up here for the food review and ended up pinch hitting in the 9th and drew a walk, so good for him on that.
3-1 pitch. Low and outside ball 4. The bases are loaded for the Riptide. It's the 5th walk tonight issued by the Bombers. Luke Johnson is stepping up.
So we've seen how both Huntsaker and Cannon can do with the bases loaded. Now it's Thomas's turn, but he has 2 outs, so it's a little bit easier than the other 2. But the Riptide pitchers, they worked out of it really well. Let's see if it's the Bombers' turn to do that the same.
Luke Johnson takes the first pitch for strike 1. And Johnson, we talked about earlier in the broadcast how he's been hot as of late. Was able to reach via the walk in the second, come around to score. And the pitch in for strike 2. So quickly down in the count 0-2 is Luke Johnson. There's 2 outs. The bases are loaded. Riptide trailing 5-2. Johnson looking for home run number 1. The 0-2 lined into the glove of the third baseman Roca for out number 3. Riptide leave the bases loaded, headed towards the top of the 8th. Bombers lead 5-2. Five to 2, the Bombers lead in the 8th inning. Hi, everybody. Aidan Pham alongside Andrew Giesler from Great Park. Thomas Williams, Ethan Swidler, and Lucas Bonham are due up. New pitcher on the mound for the Riptide is number 33, Caden Muckley. Takes over for Hunsaker, who went 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Righty Muckley's first pitch in for strike 1. 0-1 the count against Thomas Williams, who's reached twice today, a RBI double in the second and a walk in the 6th.
I think at third right now is Tyler Holland. He must have taken over for Rodriguez, who only had 1 at-bat.
0-1, low and in the opposite batter's box. 1 ball and 1 strike. Thomas Williams, the switch hitter, batting in the left-handed batter's box. Waves and misses for strike 2 is Thomas Williams. A 1-2 count for Caden Muckley. Muckley looking for his first strikeout. It would be the 12th tonight for the Riptide. He gets set, the glove in front of his chest. Lifts the leg, fires the 1-2 off the end of the bat and back foul. Muckley last pitched against the Oaks. That was 1 inning, and he struck out the side, making his 5th appearance for Orange County. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody on, no outs, top of the 8th. The Bombers trying to add to their 3-run lead. Muckley lifted in the air, and it twists his foul on the left side. Redo 1-2.
Muckley in his last appearance struck out this side. He's been looking really strong as kind of things have gone on for him. Struggled in his first outing, but other than that, has come on really strong.
Thomas Williams looking for his second hit today. It'd be his fourth multi-hit game. The pitch way high for ball 2. 2-2 the count against Thomas Williams, the shortstop. 2 flyouts, a double in the second, and a walk in the 6th. Muckley, 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Number 12 for the Riptide tonight, the first for Muckley.
And this is more of what we've seen from the Riptide pitchers, striking out a lot more. Yesterday, they only had 6 against the Foresters, but 12, that's something that we've seen a lot more likely with them.
Ethan Swidler, the right-handed batter, steps in the box. Righty on righty matchup. Muckley's first pitch. It's the top of the zone, strike 1. Swidler singled to start the game in the first. He came around to score, but grounded to third, flew out to right, and struck out since then. 1 for 4 a day. He sends one towards right center. Working all the way over is Navarro, and he makes the grab for route number 2.
Muckley continues to look strong. And Jack O'Malley warming up in the bullpen, a guy who throws real hard. Hit 97 twice in his last outing.
Lucas Bonham is able to extend his on-base streak to 12 games. Has reached twice so far. 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch from Muckley misses away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Lucas Bonham, the second baseman, a .318 batting average with 5 RBIs. Was 3 for 4 against the Riptide on Tuesday. Hard hit, ground ball to third. Picked up by Holland. Long throw to first. Outreach glove of McDonald. He gets the tag and the runner is out, but a collision at first base as McDonald is a little slow to get up. He's okay as he steps up. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Riptide looking for 3 runs, down 5-2. Bottom of the 8th inning, Riptide trail 5-2 against the San Diego Bombers. Reed Montgomery, Henry McDonald, and Jack Salmon are due up in this inning. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Bombers. It's Shane Anderson, number 75, making his second appearance this summer. The first was against the Riptide, where he pitched 2 innings and had 2 strikeouts. Righty and on lefty matchup between him and Reed Montgomery. The first pitch from Anderson, up and away for ball 1. Montgomery today struck out in the 2nd, was walked in the 4th, and reached in the 6th. Looking for the 5th hit today from the Riptide is Reed Montgomery. White batting gloves, and he swings, loses the bat towards Keith over there for strike 1.
Keith was ready. He immediately got up. Normally people shy away from foul balls and bats, but he runs directly over to try to catch that one. As Montgomery goes for a laugh around the base pass and will finally get back ready.
You know, I respect that. He stood right up as he was about to catch the bat, but there's a net in front of him.
I don't even know what I'd do if a bat came flying at me, fence or not.
Montgomery has the bat. He's in the left-handed batter's box once again, awaiting the 1-1 pitch from Shane Anderson, who gets set with the glove in front of his chest. Lifts the leg, 1-1, swung on and missed by Montgomery for strike 2. Well, luckily for us up here, we don't have to deal with bats flying our way.
No, we don't. I wanted a foul ball. We can't get one here at Great Park unless we're on the radio side, and even then it's tough. I'm ready to go to slow and try to get one.
Oh, it's a good setup, and you'll definitely come away with one there. 1-2 count, meanwhile, against Reed Montgomery. The pitch over the glove of Swidler for ball 2.
Just a quick final line from Wyatt Thomas. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout, which is facing the right direction.
Reed looking for his first hit today. 2-2 count, nobody on. Bottom of the 8th, Riptide trail 5-2. Shane Anderson is set, kicks and deals outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Montgomery batting .304 has 1 home run this summer. Trying to extend his 3-game hit streak. Already extended that 12-game on-base streak to 13. Three balls, 2 strikes. Anderson, the pitch. Tapped and curling back foul on the left side. Redo 3-2. Montgomery back in there. Anderson with the tan glove is in front of his chest. White shoes on, and 3-2. Waves and misses. Reed Montgomery strikes out. Number 7 tonight from the Bombers, the first for Anderson. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
And now it's everyone below Johnson. Montgomery, McDonald, Salmon, and Sauce have all struck out. The bottom 4 for the Riptide.
Henry McDonald steps up. Righty on righty matchup between him and Anderson. First pitch misses inside for ball 1. Henry McDonald was walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and popped one up to the shortstop in the 6th inning.
Just coming off of getting, well, kind of ran through by Bonham to end the 8th inning.
Looking for his 2nd hit this summer. 1-0. Away and by the glove of Swidler. No harm done. Nobody on. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. The Riptide trailing 5-2.
Well, you talk about that 1 hit. It was a double for McDonald. That was in the first plate appearance as well.
Going to spark something for the Riptide. We've been limited to just 4 hits and 2 runs. The bottom of the 8th. Anderson. Way inside and Whiffs by Henry McDonald. A close call for him once again.
That's scary because he was hit with a high and in fastball previously. So, and that was against the Bombers in their last meeting.
It was hit in the head in his first at bat. Faces a 3-0 count against Shane Anderson. The pitch in the air and back foul on the right side. 3 balls and 1 strike against Henry McDonald, getting the start at first base today. He's batting 125 coming into tonight, making his 6th start. Looking for his first hit in 4 games. Donald steps out, back in, black batting gloves, waves the bat next to his right ear, awaiting the 3-1 from Shane Anderson. Anderson, 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike 2. Full count against Henry McDonald. Riptide trailing by 3 runs. They've got 5 outs to work with.
Second time that Anderson's put himself into a 3-2 count.
Three-two. Swing and a miss from Henry McDonald. Shane Anderson gets his 2nd strikeout, the 8th, after issuing 3 straight balls, able to come all the way back and get the punch out. Brings up Jack Salmon. 0 for 3 today. Salmon has 2 hits in his last 23 at-bats. Would love to turn that around. There's 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Riptide trail 5-2. The first pitch in the air from Salmon, and it's back foul on the left side.
And it's not that, though he did strike out in his last at-bat, it's not that Salmon has not been hitting the ball well. He's gotten good wood on the ball. It's just he hits it right to people.
He's found ways to get on without having a hit. Snapped his 8-game on-base streak Tuesday against the Bombers. 0-1. In the opposite batter's box, 1 ball and 1 strike against Jack Salmon, the lefty facing the righty Shane Anderson. He struck out in his last at-bat back in the 6th inning. Anderson looking for the 3rd and final out to send us to the 9th inning. He gets set, his 1-1. Misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike against Jack Salmon. Played this year at Hawaii, is transferring to UNLV. Batting 166. Twists the bat around a couple times, awaiting the 2-1 pitch from Shane Anderson. Kicks and deals. Sent back foul into the net behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Holland is in the on-deck circle warming up if Salmon is able to reach. Anderson stares in at his catcher, Swidler, looking for a sign. Is set now. 2-2. Misses low, full count against Jack Salmon. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 8th inning. Jack Salmon looking to get aboard for the first time today. He was 0 for 4 against the Bombers on Tuesday. He struck out twice. So far today, 0 for 3. Anderson gets set, his 3-2 pitch. Up and outside, ball 4. Jack Salmon is aboard with the walk.
Big walk from Salmon. His 5th one on the year, and he's a fast guy as well, so can easily get to scoring position with Holland up at the plate.
Tyler Holland, who replaced Camden Sauce over at 3rd base, is up to bat. Holland, one of those guys who's also looking to get the bat hot for the Riptide. He's batting 122. Was 0 for 4 yesterday, and he struck out 3 times. Before that, 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts. Salmon on first. The pickoff attempt there. He slides back safely, head first. 2 stolen bases for Jack Salmon this summer. Tyler Holland, righty on righty matchup. Awaiting the first pitch from Shane Anderson. Another throw to first. Salmon back safely once again.
You do got to keep an eye on him, though. He's been on base. This is his 10th time this year, and normally has people in front of him when he is on base. So
a third throw to first, and Salmon slides back head first safely.
O'Malley has been warming up there for the Riptide, so got to assume he'll come up.
Once again to first. Salmon this time lays the foot on safely. Holland still awaiting the first pitch from Shane Anderson. He's in the right-handed batter's box. The pitch inside as Holland twists out of the way. 1-0 count with 2 outs. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first is Jack Salmon. Bottom of the 8th, the pitch from Anderson. Clips the bottom of the zone for strike 1. 1-1 the count against the third baseman out of Arkansas.
For the Riptide, you really just want to get at least 1 here. You know, it's 2 outs, but getting 1 means a whole lot in this game.
1-1. Softly tapped foul along the left field line. 1-2 count faces Tyler Holland.
And if you can get on board, you got to realize that there's a guy who's gotten on board in all 4 attempts today with 3 singles and gone on via an error, and Jake Lambden right behind you.
Holland struck out in 10 out of his last 17 at-bats and would love to turn that around. 1-2 count against Shane Anderson is what he faces. Salmon's on first. He reached via the walk. The pitch. Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He taps the plate 2 times. White batting gloves on. Leans back and forth in the right-handed batter's box. Shane Anderson looking for his 3rd strikeout this inning. 2-2. Into the net foul. Redo 2-2.
Good battle from Holland here. He's put up a lot of good at-bats recently, just hasn't really had the outcome that he would love.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Salmon on first. Bottom of the 8th, Bombers lead 5-2. Tyler Holland, the batter at the plate, facing Shane Anderson, who, with the glove in front of his chest, kicks and deals, swung on and miss. The 3rd strikeout this inning from Shane Anderson, the 9th from the Bombers. We head to the top of 9, Bombers a 3-run lead. Top of the 9th inning, the Bombers trying to extend their 5-2 lead to add a couple insurance runs. Jack O'Malley is out there on the mound for the Riptide.
A right-hander is a guy who throws the ball rather hard, has had issues with control previously, but in his past 2 outings hasn't let up a hit, hasn't let up a run, hasn't let up a walk, with 5 strikeouts in the 3 innings that he pitched. Hit 97 twice in his last outing against the Oaks.
Against them, he had 1 inning pitch and struck out 2 batters. Jeremy Jones, Michael Roca, and Alan Chu are the batters due up for the Bombers in this inning. Jack O'Malley stands up tall, 6'8" on the mound. Right-hander deals. Low outside part of the zone for strike 1. O'Malley, blue long sleeves on in the game, facing Jeremy Jones, who's reached twice today, has a run scored. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jones has struck in out twice. Jack O'Malley stares in, gets the sign from Zach Crandall. Glove in front of his chest, fires. Inside part of the plate for strike 2. 1-2 the count against Jeremy Jones. So far tonight, the Bombers 9 hits, 5 runs. 3 errors committed defensively by Orange County. Jones looking to reach for the 3rd time today. Has a red arm sleeve on his left arm. The bat hovers back and forth over his left shoulder. 1-2. Line back, foul into the net. Redo 1-2 against Jeremy Jones.
This is where O'Malley's improved since the beginning of the season, getting ahead of batters, and even at 1-2, putting things in the zone, forcing the other team to swing at it. And though Jones is putting up a decent at-bat right now, it's not necessarily sustainable with how O'Malley's been pitching lately.
O'Malley making his 6th appearance this summer. His 1-2 was way outside. He gets by Crandall. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Muckley went 1 inning, issued 1 strikeout. Two balls, 2 strikes against Jeremy Jones. O'Malley, a sign he likes, the glove in front of his body. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3. Number 13 from the Riptide, and you've said it a couple times. It's just been an unbelievable performance by the Riptide pitching staff that has kept them in this ball game.
Yeah, inning 3 and on, the team has 9 of their 13 strikeouts, has only given up 3 hits in that span, 3 walks, and something also of note is, well, I guess the error is still there.
Grounder left side, past the diving Lambden into left field. Single by Mikey Roca, the 10th today for the Bombers. 10th hit today for the Bombers, and they've got a man on. The Bombers scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second, have been scoreless since then. Riptide 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 runs. 5-2 ball game. The Bombers lead. Top of the 9th, looking for a couple more insurance runs. Alan Chu stands up tall. The pitch misses in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes against Alan Chu. Mikey Roca is on first.
Really would love another run to come across here, make it just that much harder for the Riptide, push the lead up to 4, though it is at 3 right now.
O'Malley over to first. Nice grab by McDonald, and the runner back safely. That's Roca.
I was talking with McDonald before on playing first, and he said, hey, it's just catcher, except I don't have the equipment on. I'm not scared of getting in front of anything.
The 1-0 is low and outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count against Alan Chu. 2 RBI single in the first. He's reached twice today. Also has popped up to short and flew out to center. O'Malley looking for 2 outs, get the Riptide lineup back up, looking for at least 3 runs at the moment. His pitch is up and outside for ball 3. Zach Crandall is out there for a mound visit to talk things over with Jack O'Malley, who's issued 3 straight balls.
This is the 7th pitcher that the Riptide have used today in O'Malley. We knew it was going to be a bullpen day. Weren't sure exactly who was going to go the longest. It ended up being Nick Bond at 3 innings.
Bond struck out 5 in those 3 innings. There's 13 strikeouts from the Riptide tonight. 3 balls, no strikes. A runner on first, Roca for Alan Chu. The pitch misses away. A 4-pitch walk issued to Alan Chu. There's runners on first and second for the Bombers.
Just as I was saying, the control started to look better for O'Malley. Things starting to slide downhill a little bit. But as long as he can just get back on the mound, focus back in, and focus on the batter ahead of him, maybe try and get a double play ball, keep things beneath the zone here, things should be fine.
Dylan Fishbow steps in. Chu on first, Roca on second. O'Malley's pitch waves and misses. She tapped into the glove of Crandall for strike 1 regardless. Fishbow has struck out 3 times today. He was walked back in the 7th with runners on first and second. He stares at the pitch. Paint the edge of the zone for strike 2. Ahead in the count, 0-2 against Fishbow. O'Malley looking for strikeout number 14 today for the Riptide. The pitch inside, low and in for ball 1.
This is what I was talking about, getting ahead in the count. So even if you do miss one of those, 2 of those, you're still ahead, you're still fine, and then it's even, and well, we can get to it, but still ahead at this point.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 runners on, 1 out, top of the 9th. Bombers lead 5-2. O'Malley, the 1-2 pitch, swung on and foul tip in the glove of Crandall for strikeout number 14. There's 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Big strikeout there. Now you don't really have to worry about the runners on as much. Just get 1 more out and you're out of this, and have the bats come up for the Riptide. It's time for them to get going. We'll have top of the lineup to do so, which has done well so far today.
Gianluca Finelli, who has 2 singles today, steps in the right-handed batter's box. Chu on first, Roca on second. O'Malley a look at second. Eves the pitch home. Swung on and missed, and the pitch bounces off the backstop. And the foul ball is retrieved. No balls and 1 strike with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Bombers trying to extend their 3-run lead against the Riptide. Sent back towards us, and it bounces off the top of the net and back onto the field. That might have been the closest one all season.
I was going to say, that looked like it was the closest one that we could have gotten. Even though there is a window in front of us, that would have been the closest.
O'Malley ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes against Gianluca Finelli. Looking for route number 3. The pitch. Low outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mikey Rocha singled, and Alan Chu was walked. Those are the 2 runners on for Gianluca Finelli. A 136 average, has 1 home run and 5 RBIs. O'Malley kicks and deals. Fly ball towards left field. Working back, Jack Salmon. It bounces off the wall. Roca scores from third. The stop sign is put there for Alan Chu. An RBI double from Gianluca Finelli extends the Bombers' lead 6-2, top of the 9th.
That ball was hit really, really, really hard. That's what happens when you have someone who throws hard, is it just kind of power and power meet. And I think that hit the very, very top of the wall. It's not going to get that much farther without going over. Out of the 362, I'd say he hit it 361 and 6 inches.
That ball definitely looked like it had a chance to get out. Bombers able to add one more run. They lead 6-2 top of the 9th. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for Aidan Harrison. O'Malley misses outside for ball 1. Riptide will need to look for at least 4 runs as of now when they come up in the bottom of the 9th. O'Malley looking for that 3rd out of the top of the 9th. 1-0. Low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes against Aidan Harrison. Doubled in the 2nd, came around to score. Struck out in the 4th and 7th, and he was also walked once today. O'Malley stares in, gets the sign from Crandall. Finelli's on 2nd, Chu's on 3rd. The pitch. It's the low outside part of the plate for strike 1. 2-1 count. Harrison steps back in. It's 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 runners on, 2 outs, top of the 9th. The pitch from O'Malley. Inside for ball 3. 3-1 count. O'Malley looking to avoid walking Harrison and leaving the bases loaded for the top of the lineup and Thomas Williams. He gets set. 3-1. Gets the edge of the zone for strike 2. Full count against Aidan Harrison. A big pitch coming up from Jack O'Malley.
I think that was a really good job from Crandall to bring that one into the outside of the zone.
O'Malley stares in towards Crandall. Gets the sign. Harrison, black batting gloves, awaiting the 3-2. Waves and misses for strike 3. A big punch out for Jack O'Malley, the 3rd this inning. 15 strikeouts from the Riptide pitchers. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Jake Lambden, Riley Hunsaker, and Bradley Navarro are due up. Riptide looking for 4 runs. Bottom of the 9th inning, the Bombers lead 6-2. Riptide looking for 4 runs. Jake Lambden, Riley Hunsaker, and Bradley Navarro are due up. Shane Anderson, the pitcher, back out there. First pitch from Anderson, bottom of the zone for strike one. Jake Lambden has reached on all 4 of his plate appearances today. He's been excellent in his first 3 games as a Riptide. Pitch. One around just enough for the first strike. Rather, the second strike. No balls and 2 strikes against Jake Lambden. Pitch. Grounded to third. Roca has it. Long throw to first. High. And they get the out there. Jake Lambden is out at first. There's 1 away in the top of the 9th.
And something I've been quickly looking at my scorebook, trying to find what the story of the game has been. What I see is that the Riptide have left a runner on base in every single inning so far. 10 total that they have left on base, which is impressive because they only have 4 hits to mark that up.
4 hits today, 2 runs. On the other hand, 11 and 6 runs for the Bombers. Riley Hunsaker takes the first pitch low and outside for ball 1. That's been the big storyline every time that the Riptide have faced the Bombers. Just the offense is unable to get going. They were limited to 5 hits on Tuesday. Big swing and a miss from Riley Hunsaker.
And with 11 hits and 5 walks in their favor, they've left 12 people on base, the Bombers.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch in the air and back foul on the left side. I think a big part that you also got to look at is the errors by both teams. The Bombers 4 and the Riptide 3 tonight.
Yeah, it's not good baseball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Riley Hunsaker, the batter. Riptide down to their last 2 outs. The pitch bounces about a couple feet in front of home for ball 2. 2-2 the count.
But those errors have been cleaned up as the game goes on. When the relieving pitching has started to get better as we go on, and the errors have kind of lowered themselves a lot, and that's when most of the runs were scored early on in the game.
Anderson looking for the 10th strikeout today from the Bombers. 2-2. In the air, out towards left field. It drops in front of Fanelli for a base hit. Riley Hunsaker, a single, and he's aboard first.
That's a big single for Hunsaker, a guy who has been slowly getting out of the slump. That's a 3-game hit streak for him now, and I think something that he might credit it to batting gloves off. He switched batting gloves on, batting gloves off, and finally took them off once again to go back to what he normally did. In a 3rd game in a row, he's gotten a hit in a big spot for Bradley Navarro coming up.
1 out, runner on first. Bradley Navarro, the switch hitter, batting left-handed against the righty. Foul tip into the glove of Swidler for strike 1. Navarro, RBI double in the 3rd and was walked in the 7th. .416 batting average, 1 home run this summer. The 0-1. In for strike 2. 0-2 the count against Bradley Navarro, who steps out, adjusts his cap with the left arm and back in the box. Twists the black bat around a couple of times and holding them with white batting gloves, waves back and forth in the box. 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Navarro, clutch hitter for sure. Batting .416 with a .520 on base percentage, 600 slugging. He's the guy you want at the plate right now, lefty or righty.
Looking for his 2nd hit today. It'll be his 10th multi-hit game. 1-2 pitch. Tap back into the net, foul. Redo 1-2.
You know he's going to make it a tough at-bat as well.
Retightens the batting gloves. Back in the left-handed batter's box. Shane Anderson stares in. Hunsaker on first. The glove in front of his chest. Swings driven towards left field. Fanelli settles under it, makes the grab. There's 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Again, good wood on it, but just unfortunately right at Fanelli in left field out there for 2 outs. Riptide need a whole lot of runs in the final out that they have.
Zach Crandall is the batter. There's 2 outs, a runner on first. The Riptide trail 6-2. Anderson looking for the 3rd and final out of the ball game. His first pitch in for strike 1. Zach Crandall was walked in the 7th. That extended his on-base streak to 9 games. He's now reached in every game he's played in as a Riptide. Oh, 1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike against Zach Crandall. Righty on righty matchup between him and Shane Anderson. Riley Hunsaker singled. He's on first. One pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike against Zach Crandall. Riptide are down to their last out. Crandall struck out in the 1st, grounded to 2nd in the 3rd, and flew out towards right field in the 5th. The pitch in the air, back foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Final strike now for the Riptide. Crandall can find a way on. Luke Johnson, who has had a pretty hot bat lately, is in the on-deck circle.
Shane Anderson looking for strikeout number 10 to end the ball game for the Bombers. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner on first for Zach Crandall. Anderson, the pitch. Called strike 3. Ends the ball game. The Bombers come into Orange County. They get the 6-2 win over the Riptide. They improve to 3-9 in CCL play. The Riptide dropped to 13-11 overall, 11-11 in CCL play.
And obviously the middle relieving is what did well for the Riptide. Later on, the run that was let up due to a big hit from Finelli, which went off the top of the wall. But I'm more looking standings-wise. We're enough games in now, 23 in fact, of our 40, where you got to start looking at that a little bit. And today would have been a really, really good day to get a win. You look at the standings. The Barons just beat the Foresters. That keeps the Foresters where you're at. You're only 4.5 games behind them. But the Barons won that game. They're the team that you're looking at directly below you other than them and the Waves. And then after that, you have to look at the Saints, who just lost to the Blues by 4. They're the team above you by only half a game. If you win today, you move ahead of the Saints, and now there's 2 teams below you before you drop out. And that would have been a really good win today, but instead, Riptide go down.
Final line from Great Park, 11 hits, 6 runs for the Bombers. They committed 4 errors. For the Riptide, 5 hits, 2 runs came across, 3 errors. These 2 teams will take each other once again next Saturday. Looking ahead for the Riptide, they're off tomorrow. They face the Philippines on Saturday and are on the road against the Barons. That'll do it for us here from Great Park. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Andrew Giesler, I'm Aidan Pham saying good night.